push buttons.
Wow.
I like the cat one a lot.
You want me to get one more time on it? Oh. Guys. Oh. The crowd's amped up. I mean,
Yeah, the studio is crazy today.
we're in the stew. We're back in the fucking lab. I mean, it's been months.
Oh,
It's been
Charlie.
months. Charlie, get comfortable. Get comfy.
Get in there.
Guys, the show, it looks a little bit different now, huh? That's the question. That's a rhetorical question to the audience and to you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, you like it?
Mm-hmm.
We're here, Hunter Davidson Radio, our West Coast edition. And it's a very, very special day. Every day in the Hunter Davidson Radio studios. Special day. Every day is special, but today's extra special because, I mean, the guest we have on the show today has been, you're interwoven into the show's lore, so to speak. You've been, you've been mentioned various times to various degrees of animosity. And
thanks to you. It wouldn't have been that varying.
What do you mean?
I mean, it would have been just mentioned multiple times in a very positive outlook.
It would have just, well,
But the animosity,
neutral.
I think mostly...
Okay, no, I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
The point is, we'll get into it. We'll get into where the animosity comes from. But I'm very happy to have you on the show. Why don't you, this is your camera? Oh my God, you got your own fucking camera now. Why don't you introduce yourself to the folks at home, to the listeners?
I'm Mary Niarhos. Thank you. Oh.
Mary Ferris Niarhos.
Oh, going middle name.
Mary Ferris Harris. And of course, we have Katie Fitzgibbons back in the studio.
Hello.
Roomie. Major roomie.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
roommates now.
Don't jump the gun. We're
All right.
fucking
Oh.
getting
All
I'm just
right,
fucking
all
All right,
just,
we
you know,
can't
giving
talk
up.
about our
someone
lives.
wrote like a little guide for how the episode's going.
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe we'll start a fan wiki.
We already have
A Reddit? A
a
subreddit?
subreddit.
That's awesome.
We don't have a
I'm
subreddit.
I'm posting on the subreddit.
No, you are going to start
Okay.
a subreddit.
Yeah.
Katie, it's been months since we've gotten on mic.
I know. Isn't this exciting, everyone?
How do you feel?
I feel pretty awesome. I'm hanging out with Charlie over here. I feel pretty good. I'm like still in the early phases of moving here, so a little stressed,
Yeah.
but
Charlie,
Still
that's
doing awesome.
really great.
But
That's
Charlie's giving me
great
so much
stuff.
love.
Yeah, so before we really get into the nitty gritty, we did the damn thing.
Yep.
We all moved to LA.
We are adulting, millennial.
I mean, one more time. All right, that's enough of the applause. But like how, it's been, you've been here. We got here the same time. Katie's
Yeah.
been here for about a week. We should say today is
9/11.
September 11th. Never forget. Just to contextualize, we won't say anything more on the topic.
Right. If we seem somber at all,
If we see a little low energy, it's because we're
If you see a single tear at any point go down my cheek,
slowly.
it's because I'm remembering.
Yeah. All the now here's something interesting I read online that during the I read that during the peak times of COVID-19 we were having a 9/11 every day in the country.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I agree with the research. I think the numbers are correct.
We'll move on. We shouldn't talk about
Right.
9/11, but that is to say, Katie's been here just a week. You're kind of still in the. It doesn't really feel real yet.
no, definitely still pretty homesick, but.
Yeah. Midwest. We're missing the Midwest.
Yeah, like the pumpkins. We were just talking about Trader Joe's has all the pumpkin stuff out right now, and it's like 88 degrees today.
No leaves changing. There's no fall feel, really. You don't have fresh cut grass.
Actually, we do.
Well, it's dirt.
Well,
Does
It's
it
like a
smell?
lot of
Does it
dirt.
smell like grass clippings?
we didn't know it. No, but
Yeah.
we didn't know in our like contract with our house that we get some very lovely man to come cut our grass once a month.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah. So we like came and like mowed on Saturday, but like it's just dirt. It's just a dirt.
Yeah,
yard
not
right
much
now.
to mow
we
there.
don't really have.
He's
anything.
almost
But it still
he's
looks
tilling
lovely.
the land.
And he
it's a
worked
very
for like
nice
4
space.
hours.
Did you tip?
No.
We give
Is
him-
that something you're
we give
supposed to
him
do?
water.
I gave
I don't
him
know. He's like
water.
hired by our landlord, so. Oh no.
Well, I was thinking we'd
Cat
make him
food.
cookies or something.
You guys didn't. Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and you, Mary, have been here a little bit longer.
About a month.
About a
little
month.
Over.
The honeymoon phase starting to wear off a little bit.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Incredibly anxious and stressed
Yeah.
out, if I'm honest.
Pretty crazy fucking time to move to Los Angeles.
There's if people don't know, I mean, if people are watching this like years in the future,
Yeah,
I'm sure they
no,
will
this
be.
is good. Yeah.
This is going into the archives for sure.
Yeah.
There's a writer's strike and an actor's strike right now. So. Yeah. So
It
that
is
means
really fucked up.
that there's no jobs at all. There's not a job for anyone up and coming writing. No production's happening. Production is stopped on everything, so we can't even be like PAs. We can't be like
you can't
low
even
level.
get on set at
Yeah.
a real thing.
So not only are we like not getting paid like the shitty wage, we're not getting paid at all. There's no jobs.
There's nothing.
Then like trying to get like a restaurant job, everyone's looking for one. So
Because all the you were saying, you put this very eloquently off mic. Everyone that had jobs is now looking for the jobs that we were looking for.
yes, so there's like no upward movement either. People are not getting promoted, so then like there's nothing vacant right now. So jobs are tough. I've been searching for like a month now, no avail. So I don't know when this podcast is coming out. If I don't have a job by the time
Wednesday.
this podcast comes out,
Yeah, that won't
Wednesday.
happen. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is me
Yeah.
putting the feelers out then that
Yeah, this might get you
I
hired.
would
Wouldn't that be
love a
something?
job.
What if this podcast got you
Yeah.
hired? It won't.
if
Yeah.
anyone
It
has
might.
any leads, I'm desperate.
Hit up Mary. Yeah, so we ran through all of the episodes that I had loaded up from Ann Arbor. So we're fully, we're freewheeling. We're in the quick turnaround time
This
for
is
podcasts
almost like
now.
season 2.
It is, yeah. You know, that's a great point. I was hesitant to say it, but I do think that this is kind of season 2.
I think you should
Yeah.
say it.
Hunter Davidson Radio Hour West Coast. We got some new graphics from Phoebe Unwin. Got some West Coast graphics that I'll probably throw up there. Maybe we'll get some more music. And of course, you know, this is the one time I'm going to acknowledge him, this record. Ariel Berman is the reason that the show looks the way it does right now.
Multicam setup.
Yeah.
We
A
thank
real
you.
multicam. We have multiple cameras.
You did a really good job.
Come on.
I was a little late on that.
Who's coming out of the door right now?
That is still, because he has yet to make an appearance on the show, will be censored.
coming.
What?
I'm coming.
Oh,
That is really not okay to
He
say.
said, I'm
you shouldn't
coming.
say that. But no, Ben is an employed person. Are you off to work right now, Benjamin? Or
I
you
am.
just out to
Those
see what's going on?
Bust themselves.
Yeah, they are.
Mic in his face?
What's up?
What do you want to say to the
Say one thing.
This is about Mary Niarhos. I'm all about amplifying women's voice. Thing, Mary.
Thank you.
You heard it here first.
I appreciate. He's had only incredible things to say.
Charlie, come here.
That's cute. That was pretty cute, Charlie. But you cannot go any
Charlie.
further. You may go no further.
Enough. Yep. Oh, hi.
All right, good. Yeah, that's very
All right.
sweet. Let's get her. Yeah. All right.
Butts in the mic.
Well, so we'll. You know what? What I want to do is we set the stage on why things look the way they are now, and sort of explained this dynamic that we have working here. But I want to now go back and work our way up to. It's like kind of like it's this storytelling technique.
Okay.
Kind of where you start. It's like jumping around. Have you ever? Do you write?
Yeah. Yes, I'm a writer. I am a writer. I would make a joke about it, but I'm a writer.
No. Let's start from the beginning. Where are you from, Mary?
I'm sorry. I can't get her to come over.
I'm
Here
from
we go.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Stay.
Nashville, Tennessee. Born and raised.
Born and raised. Yeah.
East Coast. So, talk to me about like what kind of school did you go to? Where'd you go to school?
I did public school for elementary school, and then I did go to private school for middle school and high school.
And like, what kind of, because you kind of have a you have a spunk to you, you know.
Oh, thank
you have a bit of a you know, a moxie, an energy, and I'm curious if that was always there. Like when you were like in elementary school, in middle school, what kind of a kid were you in school?
I was a little nuts, a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was a good student. Had good grades. I'm the youngest, if that wasn't already obvious.
How many siblings?
I have 2 siblings. I have an older brother and an older sister.
Okay.
But yeah, I was always a little crazy, always trying to like be noticed. I loved attention, still do.
That's why you're
That's
here.
not gone away. But yeah, my dad for sure would agree that the spunk and the moxie always been there.
Okay,
always.
okay. And so, did you play sports?
I dabbled.
You dabbled.
I dabbled.
You were a
I
student
wouldn't
athlete.
say I am a sporty gal, but definitely in middle school, I did a lot of sports.
I'm trying to get to where, like, what you were fucking doing. I know you were a good student, but
I was doing some weird. So middle
you were doing
school,
weird shit.
I was like.
Were you a bug girl?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a bug girl.
You know, a girl that wants to fucking. Everyone's doing whatever on the playground. This girl's out flipping
No,
over
I was
rocks.
not. I was
looking
not
for
a
What's
bugs.
wrong with that?
I was like the girl that's like bullying the boys a little, like kicking
Nice.
shins,
Mm.
biting. I was
You
a
were
biter.
negging.
I was a biter.
You were a
for
biter.
sure.
You're biting boys. Now, let me ask you this. Because a common rumor in our school was that if a girl was being really mean to you, she liked you. She had a crush on you.
Ugh.
Were you just biting indiscriminately?
It was indiscriminate. It was a lot of times it was my friends
Got it.
just to.
You
So
just
people
kind
would
of
be
didn't
talking
know.
about me. Get my name out
You
there.
wanted to get your name out. And the best way that you saw to do that.
Yeah. But no, to get back to the sports question, my older brother did a lot of sports, and I just wanted to like be cool like him. Like I was like,
Got
he's
it.
cool, he does sports, he's busy. My parents like think that we should all be active and exercise. So I was like, I'm gonna do all the sports he does. So I did like cross country,
Okay.
track. I did a little soccer. There was one year I did volleyball, and I was really bad at it. So that was short lived.
You like to run, though. Sounds like you were
I
a
don't
runner.
like it. I did it because he did it, but I hated every second
You were
of
following
it.
your brother's
I was
footsteps.
bad at it. I did pole vault because he pole vaulted, and I was like decent but not great, and
Damn.
I would choke.
Pole
a
vault's
lot.
a crazy
I was
sport.
like fine at practice, and then I would get to competition, and I would just fucking choke. It was bad. Like my dad had to like sit me down and be like, "Are you sure you want to keep doing this? Because you are not good at it."
Damn.
And then I swam. That was like my thing. I did summer swim team for like all of middle school, and also did it in school. And then my freshman year of high school, I swam. And then I was like, I'm not a competitive sports girl. I couldn't do it.
And so, but you hung in there to get your name out again, or to make dad like
To
for
make
me.
dad happy. It
I
was
played
definitely-
football
yeah.
for too long
It was
because I
definitely
was
my
like,
dad was like,
yeah.
"You're just gonna sit around. Like, what are you gonna do if you don't play a
Yeah.
sport? You just come home
Yeah,
and like
my kids play
hang
sports.
out."
Yeah. Which it's
so-
crazy. I think your dad probably didn't care. I know mine eventually was like, dude, I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck if you play football. I
Yeah, he
don't
was
care.
kind of like, I just want you to have an activity,
Yeah.
which was why, like, my freshman year of high school, I kind of was, like, still swimming, but that was really my only sport. And then I started getting into, like, dance and theater. And
Okay,
then by
that
my
was my next
sophomore
question.
year, I was, like, full theater dance girl. Yeah. And my
Theater
dad,
kid.
my parents really were like, honestly, we love that you do theater because driving 30 minutes out to a track meet in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere, and it's, like, freezing outside
Yeah.
because it's February.
And then you lose.
And watching your brother just run around a track is like so boring compared to like getting to
Watching
see
a
you
show.
do Chicago.
Okay, so you get into theater, musical theater.
Musical theater.
You're a musical
just
theater kid.
It was like my first foray into sketch as well.
Interesting.
We had sketch nights. Like there was like
Oh.
particularly an event every like January that anyone could audition and you would get cast in it. Everyone would. So that was like the first thing I did my freshman year, and it was scene night. So student directed. Students would just pick scenes
Okay.
from anything, but it was usually sketches.
Interesting.
So
Like
I did like a
ripping old
whitest. I did a
SNL?
whitest kids you know was the one I was
Whoa,
in.
which one?
It was one of the drugs ones where they get so fucked up they think they're on a roller coaster.
Nice.
So I was one of the ones who was on the roller coaster. So that was awesome. And then I like directed later for those things too,
Interesting.
and did some UCB sketches.
So you went
SNL.
full in on this. Okay, but you liked live comedy.
I did.
From
My
a
dad
young-
my dad was like big Steve Martin, Cheech and
Okay.
Chong. I grew up like listening to those albums
Interesting.
from a very young age. So
And you were never like tech. You were always on stage. You always had you always
on
needed
stage.
to be.
I
You
needed
needed the
to
bright
be
lights.
the center, and then I like pivoted more to writing. So I was like, I love
Cool.
when people are like, that was so funny, and it wasn't just the way you
Yeah.
delivered it. It was like that you
Great
wrote something
concept.
funny.
Nice. And what musical? I'm not gonna probably know any of them, but what musical productions were you in? Are you a musical theater person?
I like know some, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a person.
You're not a fucking.
Yeah, this is a tough crowd then. I was the ensemble in Chicago my sophomore year. It was the first time I'd ever like really done
Our
a
high school did
musical.
do Chicago.
Yeah,
so I am
that's a
familiar.
well known, that's a
Yeah.
classic.
Chicago's
Then
pretty awesome.
my junior year I did Urinetown, which is urine.
You're
P.
in Piss
Yeah,
Town. You did Piss Town,
Town.
which is
I was
What-
one
yeah,
of the.
what is
I was,
that?
so it's a futuristic concept of like the apocalypse basically is come. There's no water, or there's like very little water.
I don't like where this is headed.
Yeah, and so there's people at the very top who own like all the water, and they charge people to pee, and you can get in
Got it.
trouble if you pee like not at a toilet.
Wait, there's a scarcity of water.
Scarcity of water, so everyone lines up to like pay money to go pee, and if you'll get in trouble if you pee just like out in the open in a jar, whatever.
Interesting.
Why do you have to pay to pee?
Is that urine getting recycled into water?
They don't really
Oh,
acknowledge.
that was you. Okay. I
Acknowledge
thought that was the dog.
They don't acknowledge that.
They don't acknowledge that.
But
There's no reason. Like
it's funny and actually it's funny to it's a comedic
comedy.
musical. Comedy.
it'd be crazy if it was a
To
drama.
circle back to today.
Yeah.
Today's date.
It's the date today.
9/11.
Yeah.
That musical was supposed to open on Broadway on 9/11.
2001.
2001.
Jesus, you're
And
in
they
town.
were like,
Maybe we'll hold off
we
on
can't
this
do
one.
that. So then it got pushed back like a month, and then they were still at that point where they're like, can New York laugh again?
Yeah, guys.
Can we laugh?
Is New York ready to
And
laugh?
I think a month later, generally the consensus was no.
No,
And so
yeah.
that show did not do amazing.
Well.
It did fine, but
Well,
like
so
not amazing.
can you give us the resolution? Because I'm never gonna watch You're in Town.
So
But I'm
basically,
curious.
if you get in trouble, you go to Urinetown, which they build up to be like this, like basically like huge jail or whatever. Just you
Oh.
don't want to go.
It's Australia.
But huge reveal, spoiler, it's death. You die. They kill you.
Oh shit.
So there's like in the first act, like a guy who's like, we're gonna stand up to the man. We're gonna take him down. He falls there's a guy who like owns all the water, and he's got a daughter, and obviously the daughter falls in love with this young rebel.
Obviously.
And then that guy actually ends up dying in the second act
'Cause he
He gets killed.
'Cause he
gets
peed.
sent to Urinetown. And
For
then
peeing?
They
'Cause he
made
peed
they
in
made
the
a
wrong
martyr
spot?
out of him, and it kind of ends with like, did we really escape the circle?
So it's
or
like
did we not?
1984 kind of.
Yeah. So it's intriguing. It's just meant to be funny, I guess. But I was like a co-dance captain, so I just got to be in every dance number, which was a lot
Cool.
of fun.
Cool.
And then my senior year.
Wait, sorry. What were you dancing about in Urinetown?
Okay,
Great
well,
question.
Yeah.
everything. Like there was like the intro
pee
song.
dance?
There's a song called the Cop Song, and they talk about all the people they've busted for peeing in different places. And we got to where we wore tiny little we had headbands that had tiny little cop hats on them, and we double dutch.
This is
in
your
that
sophomore
one.
year?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
No, it was my junior year.
Okay.
And yeah, they were just like I don't now I'm like forgetting them. There was like an Office song about like the guy who's in charge of all the water talking about how amazing he is, and we like just did like dancing. Yeah.
Okay, so that's You're in Town.
Yeah.
Fun. Fun.
Then my senior year, no one knows this musical.
Okay.
But it's called Theory of Relativity, and
It's a Stephen Hawking musical.
it's really not. It's about
is that Einstein?
It's like
Who did
12
Relativity?
different people who, like, everyone has, like, a solo song. So it's really not an ensemble show, but my theater director is like, fuck it, we're
gonna
making
do
it
it.
ensemble. Everyone gets to be in the show. and I knew I would be dance captain before the show even started.
Nice.
So I was like,
You had
okay,
that swag
that's
by this
perfect.
point.
I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna be satisfied with that role. I'm not a good singer. Like, I don't expect anything. Absolutely, just bombed my singing audition. So I was like, whatever.
Did you
No callback.
Did you know going into it that like you couldn't sing?
Oh yeah.
You're
I was
just like, I'm just
you
gonna
had
fucking
to
try
sing
it.
in order
Got
to
it.
like be in the
Got it.
musical. So I just had to like get over that. It was awful. I would be so nervous every time
Yeah.
before an audition.
That is nerve wracking.
Yeah. And then the cast list came out, and so it's like 12 people would have like speaking roles or like their own solo song, but a couple of the songs that were solo songs are like, we're gonna make these ensembles so everyone can be in there.
So yeah, okay.
And so it was a show that like we kind of pieced together where like the original show was just done with 12 people on stage, like really no set, and we like did it in the round, built a whole set, made like dance numbers out of the songs. And so they hadn't cast the show when we started learning songs. There's one song that was a
Weird.
solo that they were like, we're
We
going to
don't
make
know.
this just an...
Okay,
There's a
everybody.
solo, but like also kind of a duet. And they're like, we're just going to make this ensemble. And we can start learning it even though the show has not been cast yet because we're just going to have everyone sing this song.
Got it.
So I ended up getting cast for the person who sings that
The
song.
solo.
But she also has 3 monologues throughout the show, and that's really the only, like, the whole show's sung through except for those monologues. So I
You had
kind of
the only
I got
speaking-
the only speaking
Nice.
comedic monologue.
Boom.
Brought the house fucking down.
Yeah. Huge laugh.
But one of like the worst moments of my life was there was a rehearsal where it was like, we had already been rehearsing for like weeks. And we were singing that one song that was ensemble, but like technically my character and another character sang like our own solo parts in the song. And the music director's like, I think I'm going to sing it how it's written on the page today. Gave me no warning. I had never practiced that song as a solo ever. I was only singing like the alto line. I was like comfortable.
So it's you.
It's me and this other guy in front of everyone in the
involved in
show. And
production,
she's like,
which is we're
we're
talking
gonna
40.
go. Yeah,
40-ish people.
40 to 50 people. She's
And a
like,
couple
we're gonna
adults.
go. Yeah, and my dance teacher, who I'm so close with, I'm looking at her outside the auditorium, but the doors are closed. They're just like glass doors. I'm looking at her, and she's like talking with like the assistant choreographer, and they're like writing stuff down. They're not looking at me, and I'm just like trying to get her to notice me and like
Get
come
me the
in
fuck
and
outta here.
interrupt.
Get me out.
Because I was like, I can't do this, and it was so bad. Like I sang the song, we barely got through it, and she was like, "Okay, I think
So-
we're gonna sing it like
Right.
maybe back to the ensemble way." And I was like,
Cause like
Okay.
this, so when that happens, like, are you like, I'm gonna try? Cause like if if that's me up there, then I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna like go so over the top that like I'm just gonna go for
I
laughs
was
here,
just like
you know?
so nervous,
Right.
and I did want to do a good job because I was like, okay, what if I'm
Like,
not?
I'm gonna
what if
try
I'm
to
not
sing?
bad at singing?
What
Like,
if I
if it's
try
just,
to
like,
sing
when
and
I'm
it's good?
nervous? And I do love to sing. Like I like to sing. I just acknowledge that I am like not
Not
a
good at
star.
it,
Like no one's
sure.
gonna listen to me sing and go like, no, she's actually
she's
good.
gifted,
She's
yeah.
actually good. But I was like so like my voice was just like shaking. Like I was so nervous, and I was like not
Oh,
loud,
dude.
and like it was just bad.
Do you remember any of the song?
I'm not gonna sing it, so don't even.
No.
But it was a great show. I got like huge props. It was also at the same time that I was like applying to colleges, and so like after every show, like parents would come up and be like, "So like you were amazing. What are your plans for college?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm applying these places. I really want to do like comedy and like write." And they're like, "Absolutely." After seeing that performance, you should. And they hyped me up so much. It
Nice.
was like awesome.
Big bucket
That's
filling.
why theater's worthwhile in the teens. You gotta let them know.
I like
going.
that.
They can end up like me, unemployed in Los Angeles.
On a podcast.
On a
Guesting
podcast.
on a podcast. That's great. So, I think we pretty much covered the bases there. Anything else you want to say about growing up in Tennessee?
It was honestly a lot of fun. It was Nashville, so it wasn't like Tennessee, like
Wasn't the
redneck,
sticks.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. If I have a moment for Tennessee politics,
Go, take it away.
I think we should be supporting. I know. I just didn't know if we wanted to do a wide show too. We should be supporting Tennesseans in their fight to make their voices heard, because there's a lot of gerrymandering going on in Nashville, but Tennessee in general, and people just like to look at the state and think like it's just Republicans and everyone there is a Republican, and that's not true. They're suppressing a lot of voices. So it's really important to vote in your local elections. And it's also important to keep in mind that the South is not just comprised of a bunch of racist people. It's a lot more of a complicated issue, and you should maybe like educate yourself and vote more, and then you can maybe make some statements on it.
I am hyper conscious of my fucking fat thighs being on.
Beautiful thighs.
Wait, fat is beautiful though. Fat is,
yeah.
It's fat is a bad.
Did you ever see those like toxic?
With your thighs and whatnot is if you straighten out the shorts. The shorts getting bunched up.
Hey, I know you cute.
And also, is
Did you ever see this like toxic?
Charlie is not
posts
picking.
on, like,
I'm hearing her, but
Pinterest
she's not picking up on the
where
mic.
It's like a girl and she's got a gap in her
Yes,
thighs,
thank you very much.
And like it's clearly like
if I get into it,
literally.
No, when you were
someone-
going, I was checking the levels, and it did not seem like it was
and she's
picking
like,
up.
I'm so beautiful.
I saw
Or
that.
It's like it was like the like weird ideal. It's like I don't know. Anyway, I was thinking about Pinterest.
That was good. I don't think we have any listeners in Tennessee, but that's good.
But we
Well,
do
we
That's
have
a good
plenty
message.
of people
What?
from the North and the Midwest who look at
Yeah.
Tennessee and go,
Yeah.
oh.
Like me included. When I
Right.
first met you, I was like, "Where'd you go? Robert E. Lee High School,
No, I didn't. I actually went to a very liberal high school.
private."
Private. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. I did go to elementary school with someone who was descended from Robert E. Lee.
Wow, that's
And
interesting.
it was not like viewed as a negative thing when I was in elementary school.
Sure is.
And my friend, my childhood best friend, she like grew up on Stonewall Jackson Drive.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to get into it.
We're not gonna rehash the Civil War.
That's not.
It's been done.
I was gonna talk about like all the land-rich people that you know, but we don't
Oh
have
no,
to.
no, I don't think we should get into.
What about statues? You want to talk about statues at all? Or
Oh,
should we just breeze past
There's
that
so
too?
many awful statues out there, but yeah, let's get rid of the bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest that's in our state capital.
Right. And who is that?
He.
you
So,
know?
are you familiar with the KKK?
I've heard of them, and I
He was like
do
in
not fuck with them
charge.
at all.
He was like in charge,
Okay.
like way back when.
Okay.
And there's a bust of his head
Oh,
in
yeah.
our state capital that has been a lot of people trying to get it removed. It has been like an insane process of like legal battle, and it's like just get rid
You
of
could
it.
put so
They're
many
like,
other.
no, that's our heritage.
Can't you
Oh
put
my
like
gosh.
fucking Dolly,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning?
And
like,
then like I don't even get me started on Andrew Jackson. Like
I won't get you fired up.
yeah.
That
We've-
was like a major part of my anthropology degree was like just talking about statues and like what we should do with them.
Interesting.
And,
What
like-
conclusion did you guys draw?
Basically that like I mean there's not like a conclusion to be drawn, but like basically putting them in a public space like is not productive
Yeah.
in any manner, and that like public space is a space for like community, and often having like a contradictory figure
Yeah.
in a public space is gonna separate community, and community building is like a
It's
really
gonna incite
important aspect
division.
of-
Yeah.
And so like there's like a debate about putting them in museums.
So we can discuss their. I
Yeah,
feel
which
like
there's like people have opinions on many sides, and like it's important to remember that history can be affected by what we put in
Yeah.
museums. So like
I think I'm a little like I'm not sure I really do statues. Like I'm not sure I really care about statues. You know, not to take away the importance of them, but I'm saying like I'm not sure we really need them.
I think in terms of especially with the public space community
Yeah.
aspect is like why put a statue of a person? Because I know
Yeah.
person is perfect, but I feel like so
Right.
many statues of historical figures, like yeah, you could
Awesome.
come up with like
Yeah.
a list of
Yeah.
reasons why literally any historical figure
Should not be
is like a shitty guy.
immortalized
Yeah.
It's
in
also-
copper.
also like very isolating for people who maybe have been like oppressed or
Personally
harmed by this
affected by
figure.
them. Yeah, that's why I went to Boston once, and
Wow.
most of what you can do in Boston is look at statues. Fine.
Right.
I liked the sports ones. I liked seeing Larry Bird and Red Auerbach. And then it's like, all these dudes with the funny hats are owned people.
Right.
I'm not sure we need a statue of them. This might
They
not be.
They were land rich.
We might.
They were land rich. It's just like who farmed the land.
We'll move on. We'll move on from statues. We'll cut that. But you had so you're leaving high school in Tennessee. Do you want to shout out your high school that you went to?
Yeah, USN, University School of Nashville.
Nice.
Notable alumnus, John Early.
Yeah. You've said that a bunch.
I know, because it's iconic.
No, that's cool.
I worked at a bagel shop last year, and he came in. It was
And you said USN?
yeah, I went,
What was your mascot?
Tiger.
Tiger? The USN
Tiger.
Tigers? Did you guys have a good
Tigers.
football team?
We didn't have a football team.
No football team.
No football team. Every like event was like around the basketball team.
Nice.
And the basketball team was like fine. But yeah, homecoming was around basketball homecoming, so it was in January.
Snow coming.
Snow
That's what we called it.
Okay. That's cool.
It's fine.
I thought I was the guest, but
I'll stop steamrolling.
sorry, I'm just having my Dakota Johnson moment here.
When did somebody?
They were trying to cancel Jimmy Fallon this week.
Right.
And someone was like, "Look, Dakota Johnson also had a Jimmy Fallon moment similar to her Ellen moment." Before Ellen
Actually,
got canceled.
Ellen, that moment.
Yeah, where she's like, actually, Ellen, you were invited. So she had one with Jimmy Fallon where he's like talking over her and like asking her like a million questions about a story she's telling, but not letting her tell the story. And she goes, aren't you supposed to let people talk on your show?
I love Dakota.
That is a problem. I like Dakota Johnson too. What happened on Ellen? I haven't seen that clip.
Oh my god.
Ellen was like, you didn't invite me to my birthday party, and Dakota was like, actually, Ellen, I did invite you. You just never responded.
Damn.
Yeah.
And Ellen
it was like Ellen like tried to call her out on television, like on her show, being like, you had this great party, all these people showed up, and where was my invite? And like trying to like be like a little bitchy,
right,
but like
snarky.
probably a little funny.
Yeah.
And Dakota Johnson was like not having
Fuck
it.
you,
She's
yeah.
like, no, you weren't invited.
That's crazy. I'd like to get an Ellen impression in the bag.
And that was like the downfall. That
of
was the
Ellen. That's what
downfall of
started the dominoes.
Yeah.
Thanks. Good note. I got a note from the guy off
A
screen.
note from
Quick
note
note.
from our guy.
So you're leaving USN. Michigan's not on your mind yet, or is it?
It was a little. I'd applied. I did not get in.
What did you apply for?
I think
Theater,
I actually
LSA?
I think I went undeclared. Yeah, just
Okay.
LSA undeclared.
Nice.
I like film and television was like not even really on my mind a ton. It was a little because I was like, I want to do comedy, and most places don't have that. But like, you go into film and television, you do screenwriting, and like that's an avenue. I was like, I'm gonna be on improv teams.
Yeah.
I had only done improv like a couple times in high school. I'd done stand up before.
Did you have Broadway dreams?
I because of my singing not being there, I was like, Broadway dreams are never gonna be real.
You
but
didn't
like,
have all
maybe
5 tools.
Maybe some theater dreams. I will say, like, I think I had an idea of like maybe one day I'll be a good enough, like I'll be famous enough as a comedian,
To just
and
like
then
get
like they'll just
somebody
like
to cast
stunt
you.
cast
Yeah.
me either in a musical or
happens.
like a play.
Yeah.
But I was never gonna like I hate auditioning.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, I mean, it's
it
the
makes me
worst thing
so
ever.
nervous. I was like, I can't dedicate my life to it.
Yeah. That's
And I still
demoralizing.
kind of have, but like not in the sense of like having to like cold call, like show up to that
Right.
stuff.
With 80, we talked about this
Yeah.
with Mackenzie, like 80 other people that look
Yeah.
exactly like
I just,
you.
Yeah, I don't have that in me.
Right.
And it makes me way too nervous. Like
Right.
I would just not be able to
Totally
live.
fair. Were you into Shakespeare ever? Were you like
A little. I feel like I'm more into it now than I was in high school. I think high school I was like, I just have to read it.
Yeah.
And I'm, like,
Do you have a
more into it.
favorite Shakespeare play?
Lately I've been into Much Ado About Nothing.
nice?
I like the comedies more for sure.
Yeah.
But it is funny to do. Macbeth is also like a classic to me.
I liked Hamlet a lot in school, and Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I never really thought he was that funny though.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in high
He's
school
really
too,
funny.
we did Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah.
And
That and now that's like kind of a Weird Al version of
right, it's
Shakespeare,
like
right?
they're putting on Romeo and Juliet.
Got it. It's
Um,
meta.
Right.
Got it.
But I was just ensemble, so it didn't matter. I didn't get to do it.
So you get out of USN, and where are you headed? Because you're not coming to
Um,
Michigan. Where do you go first?
So I'm headed to DePaul University.
Chi-Town, what's going on?
Chi-Town.
Katie.
Dicka.
Bears.
No,
Dicka.
I'm actually really excited we're talking about this because now I think I'm gonna just bookmark this part of the podcast and show it to people when they want to know like my college
Right. Yeah.
journey because it's a lot to
Right.
explain
There's a few stops.
So yeah, I was at DePaul because it was affordable, and it was Chicago, Second City, IO.
She's
where
stuck in my
it's-
room.
It's where the comedians are, where they start. And my mom was like really trying really hard to be like, Chicago's gonna be so awesome for you. You're gonna love it. And I was like, I don't really want to go here.
1 second.
Yeah.
What do you think about my jersey today?
It's cool. Is it different from any
Yeah,
of the
this
other
is,
Lakers gear that you have?
Is it different?
Yeah.
Well, this is a Kobe Bryant jersey.
Okay.
And I was wearing the last time that you saw, I was wearing a Wilt Chamberlain jersey.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain those two
No,
guys'
I
career
don't.
to you?
Please
I
don't.
think-
Please don't.
Maybe a little later.
Do you want me to like? We could talk about them. No, I'm just fucking around. We're in Chicago.
We're in Chicago.
Where at in Chicago are you living?
Lincoln Park. I'm
Nice.
in the dorms of DePaul.
This is 2019,
2018.
2018. You're a little bit older.
I'm a little older. Yeah. I made one friend at orientation earlier in the summer, and I was like, this is gonna be okay. I'm gonna know someone. And then I had like a huge panic attack like 2 days before I went to college because I was like, I don't know anyone. I don't know my roommate. DePaul also has like a huge thing where you can either show up like a week early and you do like 1 week of just like learning about Chicago and like meeting the people in your class, and then you spend half of that quarter, because it's on the quarter system, going to the class like once a week and doing like some field trips. And the whole point of the class is like you learn about, so there's Explore Chicago is one of them, and Discover Chicago. So Explore Chicago, show up the week early, go on field trips, learn about Chicago, then you go to class once a week for half of the quarter, and you just learn like how to be a college freshman. They're like, here's how you register for classes.
Sorry.
Here's how you send an email that looks appropriate. Or you can do Discover Chicago, where you just show up when classes start and you go to the class for the entire quarter and you meet like twice a week. And sometimes you'll go on the field trips and learn about Chicago. And then other times you'll be in the classroom, like learning more about how to be a college freshman. And they're all based on something. So it, like the one I took was literature based. So we still read like Chicago literature and poems and like talked about it. But I made like a huge mistake not showing up for the one that starts a week earlier.
Okay, so you did Discover.
So I did Discover. So I got there and like people had already been there a week. So they
Everyone
like
had friends.
were like new people, and like it's freshman year. So like the friends you make freshman year are not going to be
Right.
your like diehard forever friends.
But it's nice to have that.
It's nice to have
network
that
when you get
to
there.
start. So I was like so anxious, homesick. Everyone at DePaul, like most people I met were like from the suburbs. So they could go home whenever they wanted.
Head
And-
back to Wheaton.
Yeah.
What? Not
And
my
then
town.
I ended up I auditioned for the improv team, did not get it. That was soul crushing.
Ooh.
I was taking film class. My classes were going fine. Like they were not honestly that challenging for me, which was like part of where like the frustration was coming, was I was like bored.
I know
'cause,
this
like
shit,
I
yeah.
was not being like, oh, I'm not even like really doing work. I'm like done with my work so quickly. And DePaul has a thing that's like awesome if you're not me in the situation I was in, that was like no classes Friday. Like they might have labs and stuff that you show up to, but no classes. So my first quarter, I would have a 3-day weekend, which just meant 3 days of like sitting in my dorm. And I ended up getting lucky. Like I think the reason I did not like actually just like sink into a
Fucking
full
really
depression,
get
which I
sad.
was
Yeah.
in
You
a
were
bad
teetering.
spot.
Yeah.
I was in a really bad
Yeah.
spot. But I had two friends from Nashville who had gone to my high school. One of them was a year above me, and we'd done a bunch of musicals and stuff together. And then her older brother was a senior in college in Boston, but he was doing a semester at Second City doing comedy stuff. And so she wasn't in college, so she just moved out to Chicago with him for that semester, and they got an apartment
Nice. Friends.
like
Unlocked.
like a 20-minute walk away
Yeah.
from me. So I would hang out with them like all
Nice.
the time, and I think that was like the only reason I was not severely
Yeah. You had a
depressed,
couple friends.
like not doing well. I had a couple friends.
Nice.
He's actually out in LA doing improv stuff.
Nice.
But he probably doesn't really even remember me, or if he does, he
I doubt
doesn't know
that.
the impact that he had on my life.
Well, you should send him this.
And so then because of quarter system, you go home at Thanksgiving and you don't come back until after New Year's.
Okay.
So I went home and I told my parents, I was like, I can't go back.
This fucking sucks.
I can't do it. And they were like, you're being dramatic. And I was like, I've been telling you for months, like, I can't go back there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just awful. And it was like a long month of like convincing them of that and them trying to tell me like, just give it another try. And I was like, I agree that I should, but like, I physically like don't think I can, especially because the 2 friends that I had were going to be leaving Chicago. They would not be there for that next semester. So I would be
and you think
totally
it was
alone.
a combination of homesickness and loneliness and boredom?
Yeah, and I think just not being ready for like what college was really going to be as a reality. Like no one really explained that it can also be the loneliest time of your life because everyone was just like, it was the best 4 years of my life. And I was just waiting for that.
Yeah, you moved to a smaller school in a city, which is crazy. Like not really a college
And I'd been
town.
convincing myself like I wanted big city, small school. And I went there for comedy filmmaking, which was the first year they'd even done it.
Whoa.
And I do wish, like looking back now, that I'd stuck it out doing that. But it was like all these intro film and television classes, and it felt like everyone in those classes like knew a ton about like film and production, and I was like, I don't know anything about this.
I just know how to be funny and weird.
And I found out like I loved television. I loved every television class I took. But I was just like, I don't know, like if this is the road I want to take to get to comedy filmmaking. And I wouldn't even be able to take those kinds of classes till like my senior year. So it's like, this doesn't feel worth it.
This shit. So yeah.
My ass was out of there. I stayed home.
So you don't go back.
I don't go back. I stayed home for a semester. I worked. I helped my dance teacher back at my high school, and there was a big dance concert that happens every May. So from January to May, I was like helping her put on this big production, and then worked at a summer camp my last summer before I was going to transfer, and I ended up transferring to Fordham University, Lincoln Center campus, so in the city,
New York.
Yeah, hit it. Okay, so the summer camp that I worked at before, I met a coworker who we'd actually matched on Tinder, and I was like not really a dating app girly, so I just like ignored it. And then I got to work and I was like, why do I recognize that guy? Come on, Charlie.
God damn.
I was like, why do I recognize that guy? Well, it turned out we'd matched on
Coworker
Tinder.
you matched with. Was he cute?
Well, yeah, because we ended up dating for like 2.5 years
Oh.
after that. So we started dating that summer. Charlie.
You can come up here or you can sit there. You're interrupting a story that we're very interested in. Come here. Sorry for the pause. Okay.
Oh.
Ouch. Are you good?
Ouch,
Okay.
Charlie.
All
Ow.
right.
Yeah.
So you meet a.
So meet a guy. Now
Meet
I
a
have
guy.
a long distance boyfriend because he went to Michigan.
Okay.
It's all coming together.
We're figuring it out. The pieces are falling into place.
So I am
Wait,
now.
you matched with a guy in New York.
No, in Nashville.
In Nashville, that was your coworker.
Yeah.
And he was
He went
going
to
to Ann
Michigan.
Arbor. And
Yeah.
you were off to New York.
I was off
And
to
you
New
said,
York.
let's fucking go long distance.
I really was like not super there for it.
He wanted
He
to
was
go
like,
long
I was like,
distance.
this is very casual, and he was like, I think we should date, and I was like, okay, I guess I can figure this out. And so then
Crazy.
I had a long distance boyfriend in New York. He was in Ann Arbor. I had a fine time at Fordham. It was like not amazing. It was like giving very much DePaul vibes, which like was making me freak out for a while because I was like, oh my God, like I transferred. I can't transfer again. That's absurd.
Foreshadowing.
And
How
I
did
was
you like New York
just-
versus Chicago?
I feel like I liked Chicago more, honestly, looking back. Like, New York was just always so much, just people going. One of my biggest, like, problems, especially with Lincoln Center campus of Fordham, is that everyone there felt very much like it was such a small campus. Like, it's one city block. And it felt like everyone there just wanted to be a New Yorker and, like, live in the city, be an adult. No one wanted to be a college student, which is really what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I have this long distance boyfriend who's in Ann Arbor talking about Michigan football.
The
and all this
ultimate
stuff.
college town.
I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome.
That's what I wanted.
So I was like doing fine in New York. I had some good roommates. I met people through like transfer stuff, which also ended up being a lot easier meeting people because it was like we already have like
We did the same
transfer
thing.
connection. But it was just like it was expensive. It was just a lot. And then I had like a kind of shitty roommate who was just like not very nice, not very respectful, considerate of having roommates, and it like kind of devolved into a whole thing. And it was a lot. She was just very messy and mean. And then I don't know if you know this, but in November 2019,
Okay.
a novel coronavirus erupted.
Yeah.
And it reached New York City
First. Yeah.
by February.
You were patient. Zero.
And I was incredibly anxious about
Really?
it. My parents were so annoyed with how often I would like text them and call them about like case numbers are rising here,
Yeah.
like it's getting worse. I need to get out of here. Partly because I had an awful roommate, and I was like, oh my God, what if I get trapped here? Like, what if I have to
talk to her
quarantine
every day
with this person? This is a nightmare. And my sister, it was like we were nearing spring break, and I had like huge plans. I'd already been to Ann Arbor like after New Year's. I flew with my boyfriend at the time to Ann Arbor, spent a week at his apartment, and then flew to New York from there. So that was my first taste of Ann Arbor. Wow. And I was like, this
Fell
is
in
awesome.
love? You liked
This
it?
is
What'd
such
you
a
do? Do you remember?
I remember we went, I'm trying to think, like, I feel like we didn't do much because it was like so cold, so snowy, but we got like dinner at Maquette, R.I.P. That's no more.
I don't
It was
know.
on Plymouth. I think we went to Zingerman's.
Nice.
But I think we mostly like stayed in.
Yeah, nice.
And I just got to see like snow.
You just liked it. How had you seen? Oh,
Like,
you
I
lived
went
in
on
Chicago.
the buses. I went on the blue buses, which was like, I'll be honest, they blew my fucking mind.
Why?
Because he was like, yeah, you just get on.
Yeah.
You don't have to swipe
Yeah,
a
you just
card.
get on.
You
That
just
is pretty
get
cool.
on.
Yeah.
Just takes you in. I was like, no, shut up. What's the catch? He's like, there's no catch. I was like, I don't have to show my student ID. He's like, no. I was like, oh my God.
And the winter didn't throw you. I guess because it doesn't snow in Tennessee, does it?
I barely.
Really
It
rarely?
really doesn't stick. If it does, it's like a big deal.
And you hadn't really seen a Chicago winter, right?
No, I actually
you went
left
home.
Chicago right before like the huge.
And did you see a New York winter really?
Not really.
So
it
this was
my
kind of
first,
like wow,
big
and it didn't
snow.
scare you off.
No, I was like, this is kind of awesome.
Cool.
Like I was cold, but I was
Yeah.
like, this is manageable.
Nice.
So
then you go back to
then
New
I go
York.
back to New York, and I'm like, okay. And then my sister was going to come up for her spring break for just a couple days and stay with me in New York, and we were gonna do like a Broadway show and like
Nice.
just do all the New York things.
You're gonna see Urinetown.
Right.
Make its comeback.
Yeah, my sister loves cheesecake, so we're gonna get cheesecake.
Nice.
And I was watching the coronavirus stuff happen.
You're watching
I was like,
cases
oh
go
my
up.
God, like she cannot fly out
Yeah.
to New York. Like, what are we gonna do if they like close down my dorm? I not only have to figure out what I'm gonna do, but also like what I can do with me and my sister. Because it's like it's one thing if they're like, okay, stay in your dorms, but if I have a guest, I'm
Yeah.
like panicking.
That's
and then
just a
I
whole
was gonna
mess.
fly out to Michigan after she left and do like my spring break week in Ann Arbor. And so I was like, I gotta cancel this flight. I don't know what to do. My parents were like, just like we're gonna wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I was literally in the middle of like this like screenwriting class, and we're like reading through people's like pages, and we all get an email, and it's like a 3-hour long class, and it's like a class that goes from like 11 a.m. to, or maybe it went from like 10 to like 1.
3 hours.
3 hours. And we get an email at 11, and we're all on our computers because it's college and it's screenwriting class. Like we all get an email at 11 that's like, the campus is closing. Get out by noon if you can. Like all classes are canceled starting at noon. Get out. Like
Get out.
if
Get
you
the fuck
have
out.
to stay in the dorms, like we can figure it out. But like we would prefer if you just
Get the
went
fuck
home.
out. Yeah.
And it was like what I'd been waiting for. So I like immediately like am emailing my parents, and my dad like books me a ticket to get home. I like the professors literally like, well, do you like classes end? Like technically they said no more classes after noon, but like, do you guys want to stay till 1? And we were like, no.
I want to go home.
I was like, I have a flight at 5 p.m.
I want to go
like
home.
I gotta like pack shit and then like get my ass to LaGuardia.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Damn, dude, you were
So
on ground zero.
I pack up a suitcase. I'm like going through the airport, like everyone's coughing, and I'm like, oh my god, and like no one had masks.
Yeah,
no one had masks at this point.
Yeah.
You couldn't get hand sanitizer anywhere.
Right, it's cleaned
like,
out.
It was just like
Toilet paper was out of stock.
I was like, I hope I make it home.
Yeah.
And then, like we all did, I spent the rest of that semester just doing classes online.
We can breeze through that.
Yeah, breeze through
Did
it.
anything
breeze through
interesting
it.
happening there?
No, I mean, I was a little happy because it meant that my boyfriend and I were both in Nashville at that point. So it was like, oh, okay, we're not really doing long distance. Although my dad was very like, our bubble is small.
Don't fucking go hang out with your
We're
boyfriend.
keeping our bubble small. So we could really only hang out like outside, like 6 feet apart. But it was the
What did
rise
your
of
boyfriend
Animal
think
Crossing.
about COVID?
He's a little annoyed.
He's just gonna fucking open this shit back up.
Uh,
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, we would sit outside and play Animal Crossing.
Nice,
6
that's
feet
cute.
apart from each other.
That's fun.
I got a bike, like we all did.
I didn't,
Okay.
but that's cool. Do you still bike?
Nope.
It was lasted a couple months.
It was a couple months. It was too big for me. Too
Bad for
tall,
the knee,
too
right?
Tall. Yeah, my knee. That was when my
Really
knee shit
bad
started
for your
happening.
knee.
My knee
Yeah.
stuff went down right.
May have
before
been because of the bike.
No, it was before the bike.
What was it? A traumatic injury that happened, or just
No,
wear and tear?
wear and tear. I
Dancing,
don't know. No
yeah.
one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows.
Oh, you may have heard it in your sleep, dude. Sometimes I hurt my knee in my sleep.
Enough that it's still a problem. Almost like 3.5 years later.
I don't know. I also fucked it up with other shit. But I wanted to back up just for 1 second. Did you ever do an open mic in New York?
No.
Or did you ever think about it? Or was it
I don't
not?
even
You were
think I
just
really
so
thought about it.
busy
I
with
think I was
school and other shit.
Busy and also just like it's New York.
Yeah.
And I was not really thinking about stand up. I was like, that's not
Like, I'm going to fucking
my
write.
thing. I was like, I want to do sketches. I want
Nice.
to write TV. But I went to some open mics.
Nice.
Which were interesting.
I'm sure.
But
Okay, so let's,
yeah. Then I'm home for the summer. I end up not going back like in person to Fordham, so I'm paying a lot of money.
Thousands, tens of
to
thousands.
Just sit in my brother's room because I
Yeah.
turned that into like my office.
Nice.
And take classes online. And it was like I was never gonna go back to New York because they were like, if you want to come back and live in the dorms, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks in New York. But you can't do it in the dorm.
With your awful roommate.
So yeah, they're like, you actually should get a hotel for 2 weeks.
You should stay at the Ritz
And like
for
you
2
can't,
weeks. Yeah.
you can't go out to get food, so you have to like
Cook.
Uber Eats food to your hotel for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, just
So,
to pay
I'm
$20,000 to like stay in the dorm.
Ugh.
So I
Nightmare.
didn't do that, and that was kind of when I started being like,
Fuck forward.
what if I went to a smaller town but a bigger school, because I still was like, I want to have school pride.
Yeah.
That I want to be in college while I'm still in college. I have plenty of time to be a New Yorker, city girl,
Mm-hmm.
but not a lot of time to be like a college student. And I'd been to Ann Arbor a couple of times at that point. I'd been like in September
With Boyfie.
with Boyfie. And my parents at that point were like, I can't believe you're asking us if you can transfer again. But I was also like, he's in Ann Arbor, even though the pandemic's going on and stuff is online. And like, I'm jealous of that. Don't you guys want me out of the house? And also like school spirit.
Go Blue.
And right, go Blue. And they were like, if you can like promise us you're not going.
This is the one.
For
For
this
boyfriend.
is it, and you're not going for boyfriend. I was
Got
like,
it.
I swear, like that's a perk. That is a bonus
Got it.
that like we will not have to do long distance.
And there was no Michigan connections in your family. Like
No.
none of the family had gone there. This was just
This was just
it kind of came up because of Boyfriend,
Yeah.
and then you were like, I fucking love Ann Arbor and the
okay,
school.
here's the thing. Shout out to Terry Saris.
Boom. One of the best ever.
So,
One of the absolute best ever.
Part of the reason that like really, really spurred me to Michigan was I was helping my boyfriend choose his classes in August before, like when I was going to be starting again at Fordham online. And he was looking through and he's like, I need all these classes. And he was just looking through.
This is
like, a
August
big-
before COVID.
August after COVID.
After
it was
COVID.
2020.
And you're at this point
I'm still at
thinking,
Fordham.
okay.
And I'm like, okay, let me help. And we're going through this massive course catalog.
Got it.
And I see a class that says sketch comedy.
Yeah.
And I go, there is a class on sketch comedy. And he's like, I can't take that because I'm like
Yeah.
art student.
Not a 400 level film major.
And I was like, that's awesome. And that was when I started thinking like, I would love to go to Michigan and take that class.
Yeah.
And that was a huge. I was like, my parents would ask me, and I'd be like, when I go there, I can take this sketch comedy class.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? And my dad, he's a huge comedy guy, so he was like, that is kind of awesome.
That's pretty cool. That's
and
sick.
so
Dads are the best.
I know. They were like, if you don't involve us at all in this process of you transferring, like, we don't want to hear about it. You can tell us if you need
keep
like,
us updated.
Yeah, like if you get in,
Yeah,
whatever.
we want
If
you
you
to be,
need like FAFSA
we want to be
stuff,
happy for you. Yeah.
But like we are not.
I'm fucking tired of
we're
it.
not like
Do this goddamn
there
shit
with
every
you.
year.
Yeah, literally. And so I applied to Michigan. I applied to UT Austin.
Nice. Hook 'em.
horns.
Hook 'em. Texas is back, by the way. You see that?
Texas
Hey,
is so
Ariel,
back.
did you see that? Ariel's not a football guy.
Yeah, he also did this.
Texas beat Alabama last weekend.
This.
It's
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 Hook 'em horns.
this. There was a kid in my school who was like a crazy Texas fan. I used to just go down to school like this.
All right. All right. Enough of
we'll
you.
forgive
No,
it. We'll forgive it. You're not mic'd up.
UT Austin and Michigan.
Right. And then I got into Michigan and I got into UT Austin. And I was like, it's going to be Michigan.
Yeah. It's,
And-
at the end of the day, it's Michigan.
Right. It's the greatest university in the world.
Yeah.
So-
yes, dude. Fuck yeah.
So
I gotta get the fight song on here.
You do. I transferred and I started.
Get in seamlessly.
January.
They're like, we're
Yeah.
happy to have you.
Yeah. I
Fuck
got
the
in like
bullshit
2
from
weeks
last
after
time.
I sent in that
Nice.
transfer application. It was quick.
Nice.
I was like, got it so fast. I was like, oh, they've rejected me. It's so fast.
Nice.
And I got in and I did like all the like orientation stuff all online. They have like a huge like transfer connections. That's what it's called. But it's like transfer students are like in cohorts. So I was like, oh, like I'll meet people. I'll have structure. All my classes were still online, but I moved in.
Still COVID.
I took over sublease.
Oh,
January
so you didn't have to move it in
2021.
Northwood.
Uh-uh.
Nice. That's huge.
Yeah. So
Where'd you live?
I was Foundry Lofts.
Neighbors with he lived there. at
Friend
the
of the
time.
show.
Friend of the show. Soon to be friend of the show.
Yeah.
Current enemy.
I'd love
of
to
the
talk
show.
to him about it though because
You won't.
I hated that.
Yeah, I think he didn't like it. Either.
It was just a lot of money for a place that was very cheaply
Shitty,
made.
yeah.
But yeah, I took over sublease, so I was living with
Nice.
like 2 girls who were freshmen who'd been kicked off campus the
Oh, yeah,
semester
nice.
before, and then another junior, and like just kind
Chill?
of kept to myself, chill,
Chill gang.
just chill. Just kept to myself. My boyfriend at that time had his own apartment, so like I would spend a lot of time over there. I was just doing my classes online. I started working at Zingerman's.
Got it. And you know, we love Zingerman's. I'm not gonna hit the. I
Right.
don't really feel like leaning up again to hit the buttons.
Right.
One of the best
Right.
out.
Well, which button was it?
It's the second one down on the left.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Zingerman's.
Check this out. I'm gonna start doing that.
That was
I'm gonna start
awesome.
doing that shit.
Um,
Make sure nobody else ever wants to touch the board again.
yeah, I started working there. Made a lot of friends with coworkers.
Nice.
And
This is junior.
this is junior year. Then spent that summer after my junior year, going into senior year. I spent the whole summer in Ann Arbor working, made more friends, and then come August
Your senior year.
of 2021, my senior year,
This is where I start to really
This
get
is where- this
engaged
is where
because
Hunter
I
comes
finally
in.
get to come into the story.
we started sketch comedy with Terry Saris.
403 sketch comedy, Terry Saris. And we're also in, at the time, the crowd's fucking jacked up for Terry. And you can't cut them off
Right,
when they're that
right.
jacked up for
When
Terry.
it's for Terry,
'Cause she's the
never.
best.
Yeah,
At the time, we're also in FTVM 310,
that is true.
feature screenwriting.
Yes.
Although, again, everyone's masked up and that's a bigger class.
Right.
So we don't really
We don't
interact
really
in that
interact
class
a
at
lot
all.
there, and I also I'm not a feature.
Sure, yeah, neither
screen-
was
like
I.
I don't love writing a feature.
You just gotta do it.
And sketch was like
Yeah.
that was my class, and I wrote like a whole like you got to write an email.
Yeah.
The sketch comedy heads know you got to write an email to Terry.
Sketch heads, no.
The sketch heads know you got to write an email to Terry to be like, I want to be in this class.
Here's why I should be in
rice.
here. Yeah.
And I wrote this.
Did you say
email.
rice?
Rice. Yeah, it's a new thing.
Got it.
I wrote this email to Terry being like, I transferred here
Twice. Yeah.
for you.
I've been around the country for you.
I was like
Wow.
thinking maybe I should transfer. I see sketch comedy as a class I can take, and I transferred for you.
And she probably liked that.
And I think she did, and so I got into that class.
So you get in there, and I
Terry
want to.
Saris and Mary Ferris.
I had a lot of fun with that. I think I found that out like day 3 or 4. And I think I was saying that for 4 hours straight. Oh, yeah. Mary Ferris Naris and Terry Saris. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun here. One of the worst bits ever that I ran into the ground.
Great bit.
I want to know, we should also say, and don't even look at him, but Ariel Berman was in the class as well.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. I want to know, do you remember your first impression of me?
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of don't.
Wow, almost the worst
I
answer.
remember. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. I was like so nervous because it was like
Interesting.
the first, like it was one of the first classes I was even having in person at Michigan. I was like, can I even find the building, the room, which like none of you were facing that problem.
Right.
Like,
and North Quad is a bit of a maze.
Right. And I was like so nervous about just finding the right room and then like having people like me.
And also everyone that
just kind of keeping to myself, and I was like, they have to think I'm funny at some point.
Hey, I'm gonna make a joke.
Yeah.
Well, and also everyone came into class and like pretty much everyone knew each other. Yeah, that's
so
tough.
they're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I transferred."
I remember you didn't tell me that because I didn't find out you were a transfer student until like another at least semester until we were in Oliver's class.
That's crazy.
And until we were into four.
What was your first impression of Mary?
Yeah.
My first impression of Mary was girl in the class. No.
You go.
Whoa. There's 3 of them. No,
There were
frankly,
5.
Well, here's the thing: is it took because we were in 310 together, so I knew your name because I was big onto, especially at that point, going back to in person, trolling those rosters, seeing who's in class.
That's crazy.
And
I think I did know like we're in the same class.
Yeah.
Together.
So I saw Mary Niarhos. I know we're in both of those classes together, but we didn't. I also was nervous going into the 403 room because I knew Jake Primack, I knew Ben Servita, Ariel Einesh, I knew those guys, but that was about the end of the list. I didn't know Andrew Armstrong at the time at all.
The only
had
person
never
I
met
knew,
him.
didn't even really know, but had a class with before.
Was
Griffin
Jang. I didn't really know Griffin, but we were in a student org freshman year.
Right, like I didn't know him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't, like, everybody else was pretty much a complete stranger to me. So I think I was, I'm sure I wasn't shy. I'm sure I said, like, fucking stupid shit.
Can I be honest? I mean,
please.
I was more focused on making sure the girls thought I was, like, funny and cool and a girl's girl than, like, making sure that, like, I was like, the guys are gonna, like, either get it or they're not gonna get it. But the girls, like, I want, like, Lara on my side.
Right.
Like,
well, that was,
So
scary.
I was, like, more focused on making sure that, like, I was, like, for the girls.
Well, I think all the guys were probably trying to do that too, but it didn't work. But I think until we were actually on a set together for me to really be like, and I think it would have been America's Shortest Shafts.
Right.
Was been the first time that...
Which was a bonding experience for a lot of us.
Because we were in a fucking stuffy bathroom.
And it was cold outside, so you had the choice of
smells,
bathroom air and smells, or freezing cold outside.
Yeah.
And it was warm in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't want to know why. But it was.
And it was an early set, and it was kind of a long set, but I had a lot of fun on that.
Do you want to maybe describe the concept
of America's Shortest Shafts? I was gonna just say it was written by and it was sort of a take it was sort of a spin on a game show.
Right.
And it combined aspects of game show and Man on the Street, where they sent this Alex Trebek type out into the wild to find man with the shortest penis in America. And I played said man.
Right.
And
I played
the hottest girl in my class. In school, in biology. My bad.
So you didn't actually go out into the world and ask?
Well, no.
No.
They found me.
No.
I was already there.
It was a sketch. It was not. It was
Okay.
not approaching people
Not a
in
man
a
on the street
bathroom.
situation.
Not a yeah.
It was shot like one.
But that would have been the first time I do remember, and actually Ryan Duggan. That would have been your first experience with Ryan Duggan too, right?
Has he been? Do you need to bleep that?
I'm not bleeping Duggan.
Okay.
But he lives here.
Mhm.
We live with Ryan.
I
And
don't, but you do.
he lives with me in this space that we occupy currently. And that would have also been like my first time really hanging out with Ryan. And he played the coolest guy in school.
Mm-hmm.
You played the cutest girl in biology
Yeah.
class. And I cried in front of you
Right.
and had
You
a
got
small
very embarrassed
penis.
because of your small penis.
Because of my-
and then
because of the
I
shortest.
Went, it ends with Duggan saying, "Do you want to go get dinner?" And I
Yeah.
go, "I would love to."
Yeah, it was very,
Right.
and honestly, I thought it was very funny.
It was very funny.
And I was endeared to you then.
Right.
And then
should
take it away.
Should we talk about
Please.
our sketch?
Let's.
Us?
I think we have to.
So, friend of the show, Lara.
Laura Graney. I'm kind of killing the air horn.
She wrote.
That's
she
a
wrote
fun one
sketch.
for Laura.
I like that. She wrote a sketch called Elote,
Great.
and it was about a couple getting on like a first date.
It was like
together.
it was like a hinge date type
Yeah,
sit.
yeah.
Or no, a mutual friend hooked them
Right,
up.
right.
Yeah.
But first date at a restaurant, and the point of the restaurant is that everything is on a taco.
Yeah.
Everything comes as a taco, and I believe it's based a little on a true story. Not
Yes,
a lot,
it
but like
was.
conceptually.
Yes.
And I'm kind of a bitch. Like, I'm not nice to the wait staff. I'm like not.
You got some crazy
I'm
ideas.
not really nice to you. I'm all about me. And I order the street corn.
Yeah.
And I say I want 3 orders of the street corn. And the
You
waiter,
want 3 elote.
Yeah, the waiter goes, "Are you sure you want 3?" And I go, "I know what I want."
Yeah.
I have a whole moment where I stand up in the restaurant. I go, "Did you ask him
Yeah.
what he wanted?"
Maybe I'll splice in some of the
Yeah.
sketch here. That would be kind of fun.
And you?
And I will do the street corn. It just sounds so good. Is that vegetarian?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Then yeah, I'll do the street corn. I'll have 3 of those.
I'm sorry?
The street corn? 3?
You want 3 orders?
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's just that the thing about the street corn is that they're...
I'm sorry. I said I wanted 3. I mean, you didn't even flinch when he said he wanted 3 tacos. You didn't even raise 1 eyebrow.
No, I'm just saying... that-
You're just saying that I don't know what I want?
Yeah, and I kind of am taking your side. I'm trying
Right,
to.
but you're trying to be
like-
nice to the waiter.
Yeah. it's really kind of a fun
At a
dynamic.
certain point, there's a point where I go, what is wrong with the wait staff here? And you
Yeah.
go, everyone's short staffed.
Yeah, short staffed right now. You know, COVID.
I mean, where's mine? God, service these days.
Yeah, right. Everyone's like understaffed.
Oh, there we go. Be right back.
Yeah, the huge bit is that 1 order of the street corn is 3 pieces of
Cobs-
corn.
cobs of corn.
Cobs of corn.
Yeah.
So 9.
So you get
cobs
9
total,
cobs. Yeah.
which was a lot of fun for me to eat a bunch of corn.
Well, I just thought it was like so funny to me that the whole like Nick Swihart, we should also shout out, playing the waiter, brilliant comic mind. The payoff of the whole sketch, like making a whole sketch where the punchline is like 9 cobs of corn on a plate, I just thought was like really funny and awesome. And I thought it was executed to perfection, but it did mean that you had to.
I had to eat, and it was like Lara graciously like actually prepared like the corn on the cob to the point of like boiling it.
Yeah, perfection. She cooked it, and
She cooked it.
she had
She dressed it with
like street corn
with-
sauce.
Yeah, with some sauce. But it was all cold. It had been
Yeah.
in the fridge for it. Was
It's a long
freezing
shoot,
cold.
yeah.
It was a long shoot. I'm also not like the world's biggest corn fan. I appreciate it. In addition to things,
They're actually coming on the show next week. The world's biggest corn fan. Yeah.
But I do not love corn on the cob.
Yeah, sure.
Especially when it's like ice cold.
When it's freezing.
So I had to eat
So you're
much.
chowing through
I'm
cobs,
chowing through. I'm like
dude.
doing like this.
Chowing through
And I'm
cobs.
throwing it behind me. Laura's
Yeah.
like hiding behind me, catching them.
That was one of the coolest pieces of student film producing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Laura on the ground catching mutilated cobs of corn from your
Yeah.
tossing. That was amazing.
And then I get to do like at the end, like take a drink of water, and it's like running down my face. Like,
There's bits of corn and shit, and then
I go,
So yours or mine?
hard cut to black. A
Great.
tremendous sketch, and we'll fucking.
yeah. And I will say, my parents, I wrote a sketch.
Yeah.
I was in numerous other sketches. I was in my
Yeah.
own sketch.
You wrote
Dinner party.
Dinner party. That's right.
And still my parents, like when they think of that class, when I tell them any of my friends were in sketch class, they always are like, elote? Like they're obsessed.
It's my
with
sister's
that one.
favorite sketch
They
as well.
love that one. They love to bring it up. And my mom actually met you for the first time here in LA. And it was like after we'd all been hanging out, I go back to like this hotel with my mom, and she was like, "Oh, those friends were nice. Were any of them your sketch class?" And I was like, "Yes, Ariel and Hunter." And she was like, "Were any of them in the elote sketch?" I don't think so. And I was like, "Oh no."
I was a little hurt by that.
I know. I was like, you didn't recognize Hunter?
Did I look that marginally different in LA versus my
I don't know.
my hair was a lot
she
shorter.
hadn't watched the sketch in a while.
She needed a refresher.
But I was like, Hunter. Hunter was the
Yeah.
other guy, and she's like, "Oh my god, I like thought he seemed like I kind of recognized him a little."
I should have busted out
So
some lines.
Yeah, they loved that sketch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of we didn't. What else were we in together? We were in.
For sketches?
Yeah.
You weren't in Dinner Party.
I was on crew and Dinner Party.
Oh yeah, that was a tough shoot.
Long shoot. A lot of cases of the giggles. It was a late night. Duggan's grandma's house.
Right.
Shout
and
out.
then we went to Einish's basement, and we did get very, very drunk.
Did we get
had
blackout?
fireworks.
Oh,
We got,
that was that. That was
we were
a
jumping
crazy
over
night.
fireworks. The cops came, then we had to be like, "Yes, someone was setting off
We
fireworks."
don't know who the fuck that was. But I feel like we were all. Did we not?
You were not eulogy. You
I did not make it to
shoot.
eulogy. What else, dude? What else was there? We won't spend too much time on it, but I feel like.
Just to interject about the cops, they came and they specifically asked, "You guys hear gunshots?" Me and Inish went, "Yeah, they get that way."
Do you remember any other sketches that we could have been in?
No, you weren't. That's why
That's
I
it?
wanted to do the thing that you're probably gonna get to soon. But
Yeah, well, we will get to that. Yeah, that must have been it. But I feel like there was something else where we were just like kind of hanging out in the background of one together, but I don't know what that would have been.
We did have great like ad-libbed lines for elote.
We had a lot of fun.
No, he wasn't at eulogy.
I didn't make it a eulogy. That must have been it then.
Yeah, I think that was it.
You weren't in Rosebud.
No, I wasn't even asked. I got to hear a lot about how tough it was to find a female actress for Rosebud who was funny, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy," because I didn't get asked at all. That's awesome. Like, that's really tough for you.
Well, what about the we were in the traffic safety PSA one together.
Yeah, I mean, just dancing. And then also the $15.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice thing.
But
This is
I
very
think that's it.
niche stuff. I
Yeah.
just like I'm sorry for grinding
Yeah,
all of
everyone,
our momentum to a
everyone
halt.
check out Open Stomach Global on YouTube.
I do think it's worth a watch. I think it's fun
I think
stuff.
So, yeah.
But we'll keep moving forward. That was sketch. That was fun.
Sketch was great.
And then we kind of get out of that right into a little TV writer's room.
Right. And I'd
Also
love to
with-
throw out at this point, I've now broken up with the boyfriend who like kind of got me to consider Michigan.
Yeah.
And Ariel loves to take credit for that because
That's
we were
crazy.
on set for Dinner Party. And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
It was a
blah, blah,
big
blah.
topic of
It was a
discussion
big
on
topic
set.
of-
I remember that.
Because, and I don't think he'll really watch this.
I don't
But
think
I'm
so
not
either.
naming him. So it's
I would
fine.
love for him to watch it.
That would be crazy. But I was leaving work
Yeah.
one time, and I asked a friend if they could drive me to his place because he lived on North Campus, and I was like, I'd love to not have to take the bus in like
The buses
cold
that you
November weather.
loved at
that
one
I
point.
loved those buses, but it was COVID buses. So
Ooh.
instead of where I could take one bus, Bursley Bates, I had to take like Campus Connector, then take like
It's all a bunch
like
of bullshit.
Bursley Bates loop, and it was just ridiculous. And I was like, I don't want to deal with that. And so I asked a friend if she could just drop me off like right at his door, and she was like, yes, I just have to get gas before. So we're at the gas station, we're pulling out, going pretty slow. She's trying to make a right, and there's a bus coming down. It's an Ann Arbor like city bus, and she just kind of hits the bus. Not really that hard, but it's enough to be like, oh shit, we hit a bus.
It's an accident.
And it's a city bus, so we got to stop. you're not leaving. You're not just like shaking hands with the guy. I'm not getting out of there. Like
There's other forces at play here.
They're calling
Yeah.
like the cops have to come, and then also
yeah.
people from like the city have to come and like get like statements from the bus driver. And I call my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, we just got in a car accident.
Well, and you had dinner plans that night.
We had dinner plans. He was making pasta. He was very excited that I was going to come over like really quickly after work.
Be right there for dinner.
Yeah.
That he was slaving over in the
kitchen,
kitchen.
which was new for him because usually I did that.
Because usually his family had
right land.
We'll cut that. So you were supposed to get there quick because he was working really hard on dinner.
Yeah. And so I call him and I say I'm going to be late because we just got in a car accident. And,
Which should be.
And yeah, what would your reaction be if someone called you?
Oh my God, are you okay?
Okay, so that was not what happened. And maybe I'm misremembering a little to give him a little credit. Like maybe that was like something that initially got said but got moved past very quickly.
Well, it was really
right. It was very abrupt
kind of
because then
over.
it became like, well, when are you gonna get here? Like I'm making dinner. Dinner's gonna get cold. How am I supposed to keep dinner warm?
It's off the stove.
Do you know how I should keep it warm? I was making dinner for you. Like how late are you gonna be?
And we should say the dinner was spaghetti.
Yeah, it was like pasta.
Spaghetti.
Microwavable.
Yeah, and he was like
Stouffer's.
really concerned about how to keep it like warm. And I was like, I'll eat cold pasta.
It's just
I'm in a
the
car
same-
accident,
yeah, it's
bitch.
just like spaghetti.
And
like,
I've have like a friend who's like, no one's hurt, but
It's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's
And she's
scary.
freaking out. And I'm like, I need to hang up and like be here for her.
Yeah.
And
Also, you made spaghetti. I don't know why I
Yeah.
get so caught up on that, but it's like that's one of the easiest things to make.
And
That's crazy
and it
to me.
And then like he proceeded to call me like 7 more times, and I had to just like text me, and I had to like send him to voicemail because I was just like, I can't deal with you right now. Like I have other bigger problems right now.
Yeah.
And like have to give a statement to the cops because I'm like in the car. And so it was like a whole thing.
Was there? Would you say there was gaslighting occurring at all, or no? Just kind of.
Not really. Although once I got to his apartment, and I think I'd snapped at him at a certain point, being like, "Okay,
I'm sure you did.
I am in a car accident.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah.
And so I show up to the apartment, and he has like, I mean, part of the reason he was like so stressed was like he had tried to make it like a big night where he like made dinner and then
Candles?
like had like
Rose petals?
like. I don't think, but like he had like
Flowers?
gotten like I loved Kit Kats. I love Kit Kats. If any of the fans out there would send me Kit Kats,
Oh, they're not going
I have a
to.
PO box.
Actually, one or two of them might. I got some weirdos that listen.
But he'd like put Kit Kats like all around.
Fun size.
Yeah,
Nice. Little
all
snacks.
around like his apartment. He was
Tasty
like,
little
I like
treats.
and like wrote me like a note or something like that.
I was like, I love you.
And yeah, and I was just like, oh, and it like kept me thinking like maybe it wasn't that bad for a
Yeah.
while, but then at dinner party night, which was a couple weeks
Yeah.
later, maybe even a week later, I was like telling people about it, and Aria was like,
Well,
"What
it was
are you
interesting
doing?"
because well, Priya was there, but other than that, it was like 5 dudes,
Yeah,
unqualified to give you relationship advice, but still, I'd be okay. I'm sorry.
This is
Sorry.
year 3 of a 3-year relationship.
You were in okay. My
Right,
bad,
this is all
Ariel.
time.
By the way, you're not on mic. No.
Unqualified to give advice on like how to handle a man in a relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, and okay, let's say Ariel did have grounds to give relationship advice. The other guys there were as far from that
I mean,
as
it
you
was
could
just
be.
like it was just dudes.
It was me, Jake, Andrew, and Einesh. We were,
Right.
and we were all like, "That dude sounds like he fucking
everyone was
sucks.
Like, I don't think you should.
You should break up
And
with
then
that
it
guy."
took like 3 more. It took like three breakup attempts before it finally like
Stuck.
stuck like, a couple months later. And then like we remained friends for the rest of
Yeah.
college, and now I believe I'm blocked. On
Yeah.
Instagram. I don't know what that really
Well,
is about, but
And that, don't you think that's kind of for the best, though?
I do. I really don't think about him at all, except to like talk about this because it's so funny to me.
Probably not even against you to be blocking. It's probably more just like
A self thing.
you like didn't
Let's
move
wanna
past
think-
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I believe there's a new girlfriend involved, so that
Wow.
that could be part
Wow.
of
He didn't want you to get jealous.
it. Oh, right.
He was really looking out for you in that aspect.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, that was like dinner party night was me being like, guys, I don't know. Like this was a lot. Was I overreacting by being mad about it? And the general consensus was that I was underreacting by still being in a relationship.
I do think we were all justified in being like, that's a really crazy way for to respond to your girlfriend getting into a car accident with a bus, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, that's insane. I do understand because he seemed like there was something where he kind of was like, well, are all the guys that you're hanging out with telling you to break up with me? Am I
Right.
misremembering that, or did that kind of happen?
I think a little, yeah. I think there was
I
a little
understood
bit of
that angle
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit, but
Right.
ultimately, we all thought time to move
It was
forward.
It was time.
Look, this guy had a hand in bringing you to Michigan,
right, and
which
it
we're all
is. It
thankful
makes
for.
my story like a little bit better to be like, yes, I had the boyfriend, and that was like why Michigan ended up being the place I ended up at. But like we broke
It
up.
didn't keep me here.
It was not. It was like.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of that, like, the parents love to be like, well, what if you guys break up and you just went to college for him? And I was like, well, I'm not going to college for him.
Yeah.
But also, we broke up and it was fine. And
Yeah.
it was honestly,
Also,
like, better. Like, I had all my sketch friends. I had my work
You had friends now. That's
like,
huge. Yeah.
It ended up being, like, for the best, for sure. And I would say for both of us. But
Yeah, we'll have to get him on the show to really
yeah.
find out. So let's, we're in another class together. We both write an episode of Ted Lasso with all
great
our
episodes.
Great episodes.
Great episodes.
I don't have much I want to say
You know who else
about.
wrote Ted Lasso?
It's gonna be weird when either of those two guys come on the show. I don't know how
know.
I'm gonna address that, but we don't have to talk
I think
about
it's
them.
great. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the other one.
The other one, and we won't.
Well, we could because
shouldn't.
I actually haven't talked about 9/11 yet. I mean, we've talked about 9/11.
We should talk. Well, we'll talk about it for a second, just to say.
For me, it was.
Yeah.
I get. Can you have the button ready?
Yes.
I get a text from, and he is saying me and are shooting a sketch, and we would love for you to be in it. The plot is kind of crazy, and he sends me the plot, and for me, I was just so happy to have been asked. Like I was
Yeah.
like, you thought I was funny enough that outside of our sketch comedy class,
You would bring me back.
you would like me to be in a sketch.
Yeah. And I will say this is, and I like to think that I'm saying it in an unbiased fashion, like one of the funniest sketches that I've seen, like besides the fact that it's a student sketch, like even knowing that one, the first time I saw it, like laughed until I almost cried.
It was so
And-
much fun to film
Yeah.
it, and I thought it was a really like funny idea. My parents have still not seen it. But
Really?
No, because I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna like be like watch my 9/11 sketch, and now like too much time.
Wow. Yeah.
Should I send it to him?
Send
What
it
if
to
I
him
send him to right
today.
now?
Right now on air.
On air.
Do you want to call in your parents to the show?
No, they're busy. They're working, and my dad's
They
called me
have
like
jobs.
twice today because I got my car registered. so
Nice.
he's been helping me.
We won't talk any more about it. Just say, I Need to Be Held, 9/11,
Season 1.
season 1. Just really awesome stuff. We breezed through the rest of that semester, and you graduate college.
By the skin of my teeth, honestly.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was close call,
Yeah, it was a
right?
close call, but I did it.
There were some emails sent out,
Some emails were
some
sent,
begging,
some exams
like
missed.
begging. Why?
And then made up.
Why were they missed?
Because I had undiagnosed ADHD at that point, and
Got
so
it.
I did not have my dates right at all.
Got it.
And also I was like going through a breakup. I was taking like
It was a very stressful
18
time.
credits my senior year, which is like,
Yeah,
no
and
one
I've
around
always
me's
been
doing.
one of my biggest personality flaws, and don't pile on here, by the way. Katie.
I would never.
Katie.
I'm too kind.
I'm bad at like when people come to me with like really sad or stressful things. My first gut instinctual reaction was I was like, whoa, oh,
Yeah,
that's
no,
crazy.
me too.
And so like I remember you being in like a very, I totally understood the stress of the situation that you were in. And we were planning this project, and I remember you just totally freaking out, and I was just kind of be like, oh,
Yeah.
good luck. But it all worked out for the best.
It all worked out. We graduated like literally like 2 days before graduation. Got the email. I was like, all right, I'm
Right
gonna
under the
pass
wire.
you. And I was like, perfect. And then yeah, we graduated.
And then we had kind of, by that point, it felt like I was becoming closer with the people, the film people a year above me. So
Right.
you,
Right.
Ariel, Priya Dandamudi, Ines Shintray, who am I forgetting there?
Mary.
Mary Hep. Andrew Armstrong,
Oh,
Ryan
I
Duggan.
love that guy.
I was getting closer with this group, which I knew in the back of my head all of these people were gonna fucking leave, and I would be here. But Ariel came to me and said, "Hey man, before we all leave, I want to do one last project with everyone in Ann Arbor, blood relatives." And he cast me and you as the co-leads.
Yes.
And what do you have to say about that?
Awesome.
And what do you think about that?
It was awesome. It was.
It was.
great to
I have
be
fun
there
acting with
Well,
you.
I was in Ann Arbor for the summer, and it was nice to know like I didn't have to say goodbye to everyone at graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was gonna be some future event where we'd all get together and we'd still get to work together, and that was exciting. But I did spend a lot of the summer before that. Okay, awesome. Better in the mic than my face.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter has a huge habit of burping in my face.
I'm glad you said habit.
It is. It's happened multiple times.
for that? No, we'll get this for that.
Yeah. But we shot in July, so I spent May and June and like the beginning of July in an apartment that had no AC,
Yeah. Hot.
knowing that we were shooting
Humid Michigan summer.
in my apartment
Yeah.
with no AC. And I was like getting very stressed. I was like, guys, there's not gonna be AC. There's gonna be not only the two of us, our director, but like we have lights.
Hot lights.
And we can't have like I would have box fans. That was like the only way to even keep it like semi okay, like just like air
Tolerable.
moving.
Yeah.
But they could not be on while filming.
Right.
So
Bad sound.
it was just torturous in there. And you had a worse time than I did. Like it was hot for everyone, but Hunter.
The project will be coming out shortly, yes?
End of the year, it'll be done.
End of the year it'll be done. So we'll have it for you guys soon. But I will say for probably 85 to 90% of the shoot, I was wearing a white t-shirt covered in fake blood.
And the fake blood was corn syrup, chocolate syrup, and red food dye.
Yeah, it was homemade fake blood, which
Yes.
I have
Shout
to
out Mary
imagine. Shout out Mary Hep. I have to imagine it was stickier than real fake blood, and it certainly smelled.
Smelled awful. You would think it wouldn't, but it smelled so bad.
I'm thinking about it right now,
Yeah.
dude. Cause it wasn't. Cause it's here's the thing. Chocolate syrup. When you put that on an ice cream sundae, that smells pretty good. You know, chocolate syrup on maybe a banana or something. That's fun. Chocolate syrup combined with body odor and sweat
Yeah.
in a 90-degree humid day when you're
Just
Give
sweating.
like a 3-word description.
Of the smell or just the feeling? The smell, I would say. Oh, that's a great question. It smelled like hot, melted, and this is too. It's gonna be hot melted. I want to say Hershey's Kisses. Hot melted kisses was whenever I caught
but
a whiff.
But like it was like sweet body odor too.
Have you ever left like candy in a car too long? Not a big
No,
candy
I'm
girl.
super neat. And I
Allergic
would never
to-
do that.
Like,
Also allergic
Coming
to
from
chocolate.
someone who left chocolate covered cherries in her car.
Yeah, not for me.
Who are they for?
My old boss here, who really likes chocolate covered cherries, but allergic to chocolate. So I can guess what
You
it
know
smells
what the
like.
smell would kind of be like.
Yeah.
And then it was that mixed with my, and I don't want to say body odor, but I'll say natural musk.
All right.
But
all right.
honestly, the smell I think only really bothered me because
Yeah, the
I was the
smell,
only one
yeah, he
catching
was
whiffs
smelling-
of it.
It was like the stickiness was just like
That
felt
was
so
by
bad.
far the worst part
Yeah.
is that the whole front of my shirt stuck to my body.
Yeah.
And it very quickly hardened into
And we were working
an armor of sorts.
Yeah, we were working with we had mics that
We had lav
not-
mics,
Our
yeah.
lav mics did not like.
They didn't react well.
Well, first of all, they didn't like the stickiness, but they also just didn't like how much we were sweating. Like we
Yeah.
had to retape
Yeah.
a million times just because
The gaff tape was not sticking
That tape was just coming off.
to our
yeah, it was-
bodies.
yeah,
our sweaty
bodies.
figures.
But then, lucky us, we did like a full day and like an afternoon shooting in my apartment.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Einish's basement, which was air conditioned.
That was nicer.
And I had a lot of fun because that was when I got to fill a spray bottle full of the fake blood and spray it on your face off camera.
And I will say, definitely better than the muggy heat, but also a different uncomfortable sensation to be cold from the sticky solution.
And then we also got to use breakaway glass.
That was the most fun I had.
If you ever have the chance,
break some breakaway bottles. It's as fun as it looks, and it looks really fun.
What's a
probably
breakaway
not
bottle?
Just the prop glass bottles that just
shatter
really easily.
Oh,
it was like
Are
sugar.
they
Was
sharp?
it sugar glass?
Yeah, it's sugar glass. It's like fake glass.
I mean, I'm sure you could cut yourself if you really tried, but
Yeah, it is like it would break,
Yeah,
and then like it would stay like as like a shard on like the neck of the bottle. So it could be like it could cut you, but this was not sanctioned.
No
this was
injuries
not
were
a university.
gonna-
This was a
this was an independent
yeah,
production.
it's independent. So
Okay.
we did not have a safety coordinator at all.
Oh,
But probably worse, you got hit like on the top of the head, which is probably not awesome, but it's fine.
Jake's was worse.
Jake
was
got
worse.
hit like multiple. Like we
I
almost
think I
ran
hit
out
him
of
3
bottles.
times. Yeah,
Just like side of the neck,
and I hit him
ear,
hard.
almost. I think you hit
I felt
the
bad
ear.
about it. I hit him right in the ear.
Yeah.
that was bad.
But I will say he messed up the first 2 times.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crazy,
It
dude.
was his own fault.
That's funny because like almost a little less than a year later, we filmed another sketch where the writer Morgan Kovaleski called for me to smack Jake in the face, and Jake was like, "Just do it." So it was like 2 years in a row where I just got to hit Jake as hard as I could with my hand and a bottle. And he's a trooper for
Satisfying,
that. He's an absolute trooper for that. We appreciate that, and I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
I had fun doing it.
But yeah, we got to. I had a lot of fun spraying you with blood.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
And
on
then
set.
our last day, we were both covered in the blood.
Yes.
And it was my first time being like covered.
Yeah.
So sticky.
And we were outside.
We were outside. We had like there were bugs.
Oh, they were
Loved
swarming,
that.
dude. They were
loved it.
swarming.
And then we were also outside. We're in the arboretum, and
Randos.
there was are you forgetting? There was like a long period of time, like 20 minutes of like a helicopter, like a life
I
flight
do
trying to
remember
land
that.
at the hospital
Yeah.
for like forever.
Yeah.
And we just had to keep holding, and that
We
sucked.
accidentally recorded the whole thing, and you guys were doing bits the entire time. That's why I have all that.
We were definitely doing bits. If
What
there's
did you
one thing
expect?
about us, we're
Who'd you
doing
cast?
bits.
Who'd you cast?
But then it was awesome because after we finished that, we just got in the river.
Right into the river.
And the one thing that I didn't know about food coloring with corn syrup and chocolate syrup is that if you get in the river, it will just wash right off.
Yeah. One of the best, like, I remember that feeling, like, vivid, like, one of the best feelings
Yeah.
I've ever felt. Physical sensations, dude. Getting the sticky, it was awesome.
I was
It was
This
awesome.
is like what your ancestors feel like.
Yeah.
bathing in water. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we had to say our goodbyes for the year.
Yeah, then I was like, fuck it. I guess I'll see you guys later. And, the short will be out soon. You guys can watch it soon. But let's keep on chugging. We're at an hour and a half.
Oh wow, I feel like it's been like 3 hours. So
That's
hour and a half is impressive.
I think mean. I think
No.
that's a mean thing to
No,
say.
I feel like I've just been talking for a really long time. Like I'm like, should I shut up?
No.
No.
Thanks.
So
No. So after that, I'd spent that summer planning
Arbor.
with in Ann Arbor, planning with Ariel and Mary Hep and Einish to move to LA last summer.
Yeah.
And it was a very stressful time. I had like no savings, no money. Einish dropped out pretty early, and I held on far longer than I should have. And I ended up dropping out 1 week before we had plans to move out there. But and this is awkward with Ariel here because I know he's pissed about it. And it was a bad move,
Legendary
but also
move.
like it would have been way worse if I was out there as a broke roommate.
Yeah. With a bum knee.
With
we
bum
should
knee.
add.
So that was where I was at, was that it was a week out, and I called my parents who had COVID for the first time. They had COVID, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I have no money. I'm supposed to move out there in like a week and a half, and I don't even, like, if I pay for like this U-Haul, because we were gonna like rent a U-Haul and move a bunch of our stuff across the country. It's like, if I pay for this U-Haul, I basically will have no money, but I still have to pay rent. and we'd been like denied an application. So I was like, I don't even think they don't think we can afford these places. We're not gonna get a house. We're not gonna get an apartment. I can barely afford to like move my stuff over there. I don't have a job lined up. And then I had this knee problem, and I was gonna go home for a week and then come back to Ann Arbor, pack all my stuff up, and move. And in the time that I was gonna go home, I was gonna meet with my surgeon that I had,
Orthopedic.
my orthopedic surgeon, sports medicine.
I know
doctor.
cool words like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. And I'd been having knee problems like since before the pandemic, and no one really knows how they started. And I'd gotten my knee drained and like cortisone shot, and he told me, and I'd done like physical therapy.
PT.
No need to ask about it, guys.
Well, I'm curious what the diagnosis was.
There is none. No one knows what it is. I'd gotten an MRI, an X-ray.
No tears.
And he was like, damn. He was like, I got the drain and the cortisone shot in May, and he said, if this doesn't work, we're looking at surgery. Not even for any like
just to open it up and see what's in there.
We just want to look.
Yeah. Scope it.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, it's a really simple surgery. Like, it's outpatient. You can
open,
people walk out the same day. Like, it's totally fine. I was like, okay, cool. So I had this idea in my head that I could go home and schedule a meeting with him and be like, it didn't work. Let's do surgery, and manage to get a surgery and walk out and then be able to move across the country the next week.
Crazy idea.
Which was an insane idea. And my parents essentially told me that, and they said, you have no money. You want to get this surgery. Like, you need to get this surgery. Mm-hmm. You can't move. So I had to have a very tough phone call and say, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't. And then I went home and I got the surgery set up and everything. And I couldn't even stay with my parents because they had COVID. So I stayed with my grandma. And then I canceled my flight back to Ann Arbor and just got in my mom's car and drove to Ann Arbor by myself.
Jesus.
Got pulled over in Ohio for speeding. It was
fucking
awesome.
Ohio, dude. Worst state ever.
And fuck Ohio. Yeah. Then I got to Ann Arbor and I saw my friends.
Still recording?
You want me to check?
Yeah. All right, cool. Sorry.
So, yeah, I drive out to Ann Arbor in my mom's car. I saw my friends for like 2 days, like work friends and stuff, and was saying goodbye. And then I got COVID. I saw my parents outside on the porch, fully masked, 6 feet apart, got COVID from them. And then I just was
So you don't think masks work?
That's not what I said. It was a particularly ferocious strain.
You're on the knee still.
And
wait, so you got the surgery?
So I this was just me driving back to Michigan to pack up my apartment
to come
and just
back
shove it all into my mom's car and then move back to Nashville for an indefinite amount of time. And I did that. I packed up, had COVID. I felt miserable, but I was like, would I rather be miserable in my apartment alone with no AC, or be miserable for 7 hours driving home and then just be home with my parents?
So you got in the car.
So I just got in the car and I drove.
7 hours, not too bad.
It was not too bad, and I made it home. And I only gave one friend COVID. And I was still feeling pretty miserable for a while. And then I'd gone to like an urgent care in Ann Arbor because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is COVID, but it also feels a lot like strep throat, which I get pretty frequently. They were like, we'll do both tests.
Tonsils.
Yeah, I know, but it's tough to get those removed as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to all those adult tonsil removed.
Yeah, they're tough.
patients.
They're tough. That's why you only hear about kids getting it.
I got a tonsillectomy.
Yeah, they go, oh, I had popsicles for a week.
Yeah.
It was awesome. No adult saying that.
Okay.
No, but I was like, this is probably strep throat. I was like, I just feel like every time it's negative on the rapid test and then it comes back positive and I've been miserable for 3 days for no reason. And they're like, okay, well, we'll give you a prescription for antibiotics. And if the COVID comes back negative, which will happen in like an hour, you can go ahead and fill the prescription because we'll assume it's just a different strain of strep. And I was like, sounds good. I get to the pharmacy, fill the prescription, get in my car, have a call that says you have COVID. And I was like, all right, well, fuck the prescription. And so then I just had antibiotics with me. And then 3 days after I'm home, I get a call that says, hey, Just calling to let you know you have strep.
Yeah.
Have you been taking the antibiotics? And I was like, babe, no, I tested positive for COVID. So
She had the double whammy.
I just did not take the antibiotics. I assumed it was COVID. But it was both. Double whammy. And then 2 weeks
That would
later,
suck.
had my knee surgery.
Ugh.
They didn't really discover anything. They cleaned it out. They took out a
Okay.
cyst, but he was like,
Nice.
I don't think the
We don't
cyst was
think that was-
causing
yeah.
problems. Cleaned it out.
No ligament strainage, damage, anything.
Damn. They took a lot of pictures though. Had some cool pictures. Okay.
What were we talking
Oh,
about?
we were me moving back.
You were back to Nashville.
Yeah. So I got knee surgery.
Is that door closed, by the way? The bathroom door closed?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, so I move home, I get knee surgery. There's really nothing going on, but I end up doing like 3 months of physical therapy, which is just funny looking back that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move out to LA a week after surgery and
Right.
it'll be fine.
Well, this story is, it's concerning to me right now because,
Right.
and I don't want to just gloss over what you did in Nashville until you came to LA. Is there anything you want to posit?
I mean, I worked at a bagel shop.
Yeah.
Had a good time there. Had some good friends. I went to Italy with my
Nice.
mom and my aunt, my grandmother, and like some other family friends.
So you went to Italy, but you didn't visit the motherland. You didn't go to Greece.
I didn't go to
We
Greece.
should say you are
I was-
Greek.
I am Greek. I'm Greek. Took us a long time to get there. But then we got there. No, I got invited on a New Year's trip
Nice.
that like my grandma's friends invited her on, and my mom and my aunt were like, well, she's not going alone.
Yeah.
And then my aunt was like, I don't know if I can go. And my mom was like, I'm not taking care of your grandmother in Italy by myself.
That's insane.
So you need to come with
Yeah.
me. And then it turned out my aunt could come, but we really did need 3 people.
So all the
for my
girls
grandma.
went.
It was a girls' trip.
Nice. It was Mamma Mia vibes.
Yeah, and we were with like another family that also had like grandparents, and then their daughter was friends with my mom and my aunt when they were younger, so like they were reunion, and then she had kids, so I had people that I was hanging out with my age.
Cool. Any cuties in there?
Sure, they're not watching this.
We could
but
send it to them.
I don't think I would.
All right. Amalfi
There were
Coast
some
or
friends.
Sicily or
No, we were
Venice?
like Florence.
Florence.
A little north of Florence. We were kind of more like Siena. But
Peterson or otherwise? No, okay.
one in.
Let's move on to LA. Because eventually,
I spent basically all my time in Nashville working like full
Stacking
time
papers, saving
at this
cash.
bagel shop.
What
just
is-
saving money?
Your classic bagel order then.
That's tough. I don't know if it's
Stumped her.
classic, so I won't go classic. I'll go what I order because also this bagel shop's like a little crazy, and I am a little worried they're gonna watch
Whoa.
this.
well, they should.
But just like it was locally owned, like family owned, so they were very like we want to save as much money as possible. They didn't really seem to get the concept of like to own a restaurant just means you're losing money.
Right.
So like everything was like scrimped and saved when like that probably wasn't the best decision. But for employees, they're like, you get an employee meal, you get a bagel every
Yeah.
day. But you weren't allowed to get like we had a bunch of breakfast sandwiches that were like delicious,
Off
and it was like
Limits.
the tourists would come in to get those, not allowed.
Yeah.
If I wanted one, I would get
Pay full
25%
price.
off
Oh.
for ordering it on shift.
So what's your bagel order?
So what I would get is I would
What's
go
the one bagel you would get?
I would go either pumpernickel bagel because we had those, or spinach everything.
Okay.
Were
Cream
you
cheese.
allowed? Yeah, cream cheese.
Yeah, we were
that?
allowed. We were allowed cream cheese, and then we also had like chicken salad and tuna
Oh, that's
salad,
nice.
and we were allowed those.
Locks?
So,
Any locks?
no, way too expensive.
Not a lot of Jews there working.
I'm Tennessee.
And they actually were Jewish. It's the people that owned the shop.
We disown it.
That's fine
Oh
with
my
me.
god. I'm so
Got
sorry.
it.
Keep talking about bagels.
Do you put capers on bagels?
I like capers. I, make
I was gonna
capers
say
too.
I've always wanted to try that.
My grandma did it a lot, so that's why I did it, and I think it's delicious. But a lot of people seem scared of them. Someone asked me what a caper was one time, and I didn't know.
Is it not just like a caper is the thing? It's
That's
like
what I
a
thought. But
legume.
they were like, "What is a caper?" And I was like, "How do I explain?" It's like
Um,
pickled for sure.
It's like praying mantis baby, like the way like fish eggs, you know, like what am I thinking of?
What are you trying to say?
Caviar.
Yeah, caviar. It's the same thing with like praying mantis eggs.
Yeah, nice lie.
I was like, where are you going with this?
I think it's
You brought praying mantis in too early.
I know I did. I couldn't remember the word for caviar, and I was like really struggling there.
yeah. Also,
We just
Oh,
saw
this
nope.
would've been so
We just
good.
saw nope. That's why I was talking about praying mantis.
Sure, that is why.
interesting. Yeah.
This phone camera's gonna die very soon.
Uh-oh. Well, mine's not.
Okay, quickly in 1 minute, tell us what you've been doing here.
I have been unemployed, so unemployed. But Hunter and I did stand up.
Ooh, wait, yeah, okay. I wanna.
Well, I haven't even finished my bagel order.
Okay, my.
We were talking about what a
Can we
caper
get it
is.
out?
We were talking about what a caper was.
Can we get the fucking bagels
All right, okay. My bagel order.
Can we fucking
Pumpernickel, spinach, everything with chicken salad, arugula, tomato, and onion.
chicken salad? I'm not.
Beautiful.
Or I would sub it for garlic, rosemary, cream cheese.
The
Yum.
mayo in chicken salad, the mayo and celery combo and chicken
Well,
salad usually throws me off.
That's why you gotta find. First of all, it's like so southern. I can't like not love chicken salad, but you
Yeah.
also have to find your chicken salad.
Right,
that
that's
you
the
vibe with,
huge-
'cause
that's
some are like
huge.
really mayo-y. Some have
And,
grapes.
Yeah, not for me. What about egg salad?
I used to like it as a kid, but now I'm like I can't
Guys.
get past how many eggs are.
What's up?
Did we just transition into a conversation about salads?
All right, let's fucking move
Let's-
on. So, unemployment, Los Angeles.
Yes.
What I wanted to talk about related to knees is one of my favorite things ever is to just go play basketball with my friends.
And I've gotten into that. Since we've been here,
It's been-
unemployed life is 3 p.m. basketball.
Oh, it's been amazing. Like the genuine level of just pure unbridled joy I feel by like all of my friends out here wanting to play basketball in the middle of the day has made me so happy.
And not to derail it too much, but last night we were playing basketball and you weren't there.
I know it broke my heart.
And it was.
It broke my
I'm gonna
heart.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, do we
I
want to
don't-
address why Hunter
Yeah.
wasn't there?
That's what I was gonna get
Yeah.
to because, you've talked about. I've known your knee saga. I've also lived most of my entire adult life. I've lived with knee problems. I used to be a bit of an athlete back in the day.
Right.
I was on the ski team and and I think
Okay.
I've talked about this on the podcast as well. But I've fucked up both menisci in each knee. Never really had ligament problems. I had a close friend that had actually Cash Bleasner, the last episode of the show, had tore like every ligament in his knee
Yeah,
and had an insane.
I'm a
rehab.
mystery. All
Yeah.
I've been told is like I
Well, that's
have
scary.
like laxity in my joints. They
Ugh.
move a lot, but they're like that wouldn't cause like knee pain like this.
So we get to and so we've been escalating. It started out just 2 or 3 of us shooting around, playing horse, playing 21. It grew into 2-on-2, which grew into 3-on-3. Last week we had our first 4-on-4 game. I had a blast. I think
It was
everyone had
great.
fun.
I actually, to preface
Yeah, please.
your injury, which I feel like
Yeah.
is not spoiling because you do have an ace bandage on.
Yeah, your
we-
ace bandage, by the way.
Right,
Thank you.
it is mine.
Do you want this back? I was gonna
No,
throw
I
it
think
out.
you can keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. I in that 4-on-4 game, I jammed my finger.
I think we have the master shot.
Alright.
It'll be all right.
I jammed my finger like really
Yeah,
bad.
hard.
just
One of the
trying
worst
to, like,
feelings in the world, yeah.
And I mean, it's been a week. It's still swollen.
Yeah.
Still hurts.
probably some slight sprainage in that finger.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm out. I got it. Like we finished the game and like people were still kind of hanging around. I was like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna shower.
You left, and if I had any
Yeah.
kind of a brain in my head, that would have ended the hoop session.
Right.
We all would have gone home happy and healthy, minus your finger.
But then someone had to say, like, everyone for themselves.
There's 7 of
Yeah.
us left,
World Cup.
and we decide to play 21, which is basically the basketball version of World Cup. Usually optimized with 3 people. I've played it with 5 before. It's a mess. Never done it with 7 before. I know why. It's insane. And so
6 if you consider I was standing in the corner the whole time.
that's
Yeah. I will say if I was there, it probably still would have been like 7.
So, we wouldn't have played it if we had an even number of people
Right.
on the court. I go for a rebound, secure the
So
rebound.
basically, Mary, I think it's your fault, is what he said.
That
I
is
don't
what
want
this
to.
seems like.
I don't want to.
If I'd
pin
stayed,
it, on
it
you.
wouldn't have happened. But also, I
Yeah.
left, and you should have just done
It
what I
should
did.
have. Yeah.
It's whoever
absolutely.
jammed your finger's fault.
Right. Which I think was.
Oh.
I don't know who the fuck you're pointing at. Oh.
We get a shout out to mention she sprained my finger as well.
Double finger sprainage.
Apparently, I sprained Ariel's fingers.
Light sprain.
Which
Light
I
sprain,
like
light sprain.
because that shows that I was playing.
Jammage.
I was playing hard.
I corral this. I rip this rebound down. First of all, I don't want to toot my own horn.
When do you ever?
I've
deserve it.
I've kind of been dominating these hoops.
And that's true. No, you can say that.
I rip this rebound down, feeling
You and
good.
Macy.
Macy Gollar's baller. I'm taking it up top to set my shot up. Plant hard with the left leg. Whole body stays in place. Knee inwards hard. Go down immediately. Bad. Felt the whole felt.
Yeah.
You ever feel the inside of your leg?
Yeah.
Felt everything. And I was terrified. Because my buddy Cash, who's been on the show, so I have so many memories of he tore his ACL playing basketball on a team, and then for the whole summer after that, we would go out and play pickup, and our pickup games got shorter every time because we could only play until his knee gave out, which was, increasingly quicker. So I'm instantly thinking, I fucking fucked it. I tore it. And then, after I get through I'm so stupid, I'm like, man, dude, Mary got surgery and fucking had to have all this. So and
it's still a mystery.
So I've just been going through this absolute spiral cycle of please to God, may my MCL just be sprained and not torn. So it's been big on the ACE bandage, we won't belabor the point any further. Exactly. Frozen food has been on my knee almost constantly. I'm elevating. I'm trying to get back. I'm not going to let this injury hamper my play.
Right. And I love that it's not, you're appropriately upset about it, but you're not letting it get you down too much.
I'm really trying not to because I know I'm so prone to spiraling, dude. I spiral hard all the time. And especially when my friends that I kind of put, I didn't put them onto basketball, but I feel like I'm kind of had a hand in making them excited about it.
Excited about playing.
They're all going out to play and I'm fucking on the couch. Freaking mad.
Yeah, so yesterday we were at the park because we were fortunate enough to live
close.
Very
close.
About 5-minute walk from each other, and there's a park in between us that has pickleball, tennis courts, and then some basketball
hoops,
courts,
yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we go to play a little pickleball, and then your roomies, who I will not name,
Thank you,
showed up
with Cammie Slavkin.
Right.
Who we will name happily.
Who we may name.
She's
happily.
a joy. Yeah.
And they have a basketball, and they're like, "We're hooping." And I was like, "Hunter's not here, but I know it's the knee." And it was just very disorganized. Like we were all just kind of standing around, just watching people play, and not know are we trying to organize a game, or are we trying to play a little horse?
Just kind of fucking around.
We're kind of just what's going on? And I ended up leaving only touching the ball a couple times. And I was just
that's a bummer.
See,
that's what. When I get out there, I want everyone to have fun. You know?
I was
trying
I
Magic
literally
Johnson.
said we're leaving, and I turned to. Can I mention my roommates?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I turned to Nicole.
Yeah. Well, Nicole, I'm on the. No, I'm just kidding. You can mention Nicole.
Well, I just didn't know if you want to believe.
Yeah.
And I was like, Hunter wasn't here, and I just feel like that really showed. It really showed.
Well, that means a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm eyeing an October 1st comeback. I'm gonna keep taking it easy, and hopefully October 1st I'll be back ready to get shots up.
Don't push it. Don't push it.
I know. And you've been very gracious to me, and you've been very sympathetic towards me because of our shared knee traumas.
Shared knee, yeah. So.
And we can move on from that because it's not very funny. Let's talk about being funny, which is we did hit our first open mic.
First LA
together,
open mic
and
together.
it was fucking electric.
It was great. I mean,
How many times have you done stand up before?
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really, I think I was appropriately nervous, but I was also excited.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is
Great
how
energy.
you were fucked up enough to enjoy stand up.
Great energy.
And I went up there and ripped it, and I feel like I got some great
you
laughs.
got laughs on every premise that you went up there with.
Yeah.
And man, I'm a little I have fun when I do stand up. I've bombed before. This was not my first bomb, and I will say I did bomb fucking hard. It was a hard bomb. You and Nicole were very gracious to me. We should say Nicole did stand up with us as well.
Right.
You guys were very nice, very encouraging. I know that I fucking bombed hard. And I went in unprepared and being like, dude, I can just fucking spitball it and grip it and rip it. Didn't happen. Choked. Forgot. First bit, no laughs. Second bit, choked the punchline. Third bit, forgot it. started fucking reaching for goddamn straws,
Yeah,
dude,
it
finding
was-
anything.
It was a tough crowd.
Tough crowd. So we were doing an open mic. It was eight or nine comics, and everyone in the room, besides our buddy Ben Wishney, was one of the comics performing. And I've done open mics like that before, and if you get like chuckles, that means that like you probably have pretty decent set, because typically it's not and I guess I shouldn't say it as a blanket statement, because when I go to comedy shows, I am going there to laugh.
Right.
But I feel like that's not, like, I feel like a lot of, especially comics, are very judgmental.
Like I mean, they were there to try out their material.
Yeah.
It was very much what it was.
Yeah.
And there were some good jokes there. There were some not so good jokes.
That's an open mic, baby.
And I had a good time, but it's not like the ideal audience for like people who are gonna laugh and
Right.
find things funny.
It wasn't a show.
Because
Yeah.
you were like the fourth person to go
Yeah.
up, so there was still like a good amount, like more than half the room was going after you.
Yeah.
And so they were all in their own heads thinking about what they were gonna do.
Jesus Christ. This fucking sucks. I'm just kidding, man. How you doing? We're almost wrapped up.
It's all right.
We're still at the point where we're bleeping your name out on the show, so we can't really have you in here. We'll get you in soon. That was another roommate.
Just block.
All right, dude. We just crossed the 2-hour mark, and this is fucking long.
Yeah, this is
and
long.
Football's about to be on.
Right, so we can wrap this up. But
We're gonna do stand up again
We're gonna
soon.
do it again. I actually have plans tomorrow to hit the Comedy Store, I think, for a show.
I'm going with you.
Yes,
Who are you
should.
going with?
I'm going with my friend from Nashville who just texted me last night and said I'm in LA.
Well,
go see a show.
I would like to go to the comedy
So,
store.
we
We'll do
should
that.
go.
Do you want
I'll
to go?
let you know. Yeah.
Let's go to the comedy
I'll
store.
let you guys know the deets.
Wait, but
Mary-
Mary, what are you most excited about being here in LA with all your friends?
And we should say you guys do live together.
We do
Yeah,
live
we
together.
do live together.
Along with Macy, Sienna, and Nicole.
Yeah. Macy, close friend of the show.
Yes.
Probably gonna be our first repeat guest, I
That's
think.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I will be tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to be out here. I'm very excited with all the strike business that's going on. As unfortunate as it is, it gives us plenty of time to just be working together.
Work on the craft.
So I want to write with my friends. Maybe get a little crazy, shoot some stuff.
I'd love it. And keep doing stand up.
So keep doing stand up. Just keep the comedy going. I'm venturing on TikTok a little, but it's a
Ooh,
lot.
well,
it's a lot.
and we might have you start running the 100 Daves from Radio Hour TikTok page.
I mean, fingers crossed.
Potentially.
I want to be
Yeah.
social media.
Me and Katie have a lot to
czar.
discuss. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to. You know, Ariel did give a pitch deck and have kind of like a full interview, so we're probably gonna have you do the same thing.
Okay.
Whoa, I didn't get
So-
to see that.
I know.
Wow.
I felt bad
okay,
about
that's
it.
fucked up.
Actually, you
So
can do
I'm
it
gonna
to
pitch
just
to
Katie.
Katie,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
Katie has
Okay.
full.
We'll find
Katie
a
has
time.
full authority over the show. If Katie ever wants the show to end, she can cancel it.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that power.
that's the power that I've vested in her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mary,
So, it's been a pleasure.
it's been an absolute
I'm
pleasure.
the first LA guest.
Yeah,
Where can people find you?
yeah.
Oh my God. They can find me on Instagram. Just my name. It's Mary Niarhos. Niarhos. And they can find me on TikTok, which is Clip Clop Tour.
Oh God, bad name.
Wrong. It's the name of the horse-drawn carriages that would come through my street
Oh,
at Christmas time to look at the lights.
okay.
It was called the Clip Clop Tour.
So are you holding on to that so they
Yeah.
can buy it back from you? Can get a payday out of
I
that?
also just think it's really funny when people have silly TikTok usernames.
Yeah.
Like that people didn't immediately buy into, like it has to be your name.
Right. And you're on X.
I am unfortunately on X.
And
Still
OnlyFans?
Twitter.
Are you still doing that?
I stopped.
You
But I
stopped,
probably
yeah.
need to
Might
start.
have to hit that back up.
Yeah, and then Gmail.
You can find me on
You guys
AOL.
can find me on Sheets.
All right, Mary. It's been a pleasure. We'll have you back on
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Katie, anything else?
No, thanks for coming on.
Woo! Do you have something to say?
No, I was just
You're saying bye? All right. Bye,
I have
guys.
something to say to Ariel.